Welcome to Rope Breaker Wrestling Podcast. I'm elderly and pissed Alexander, and I'm here with.
I'm Peter Wesley. I am middle-aged and slightly upset about things going on in the state of wrestling.
As we all should be. So let's get to it. First of all, let's talk about Brody King. AEW has set up Brody King, and I apologize for earlier. I thought he was supposed to have the match on Wednesday, but the match is on Saturday in Australia. But anyway, Brody King set the world on fire, I think, in professional wrestling. With everything that he's doing, especially the Abolish Ice t-shirt, which
I just got mine in the mail.
oh, you did? All right.
Yeah.
With the Abolish Ice t-shirt, I'm surprised you should have put that thing on, brother.
So I thought about it. I went with the Shawn Michaels shirt because
I see.
it's Valentine's Day.
It
And
is.
did
I
it
have
catch
on
the
a
back?
Triple H shirt, so we can both say "suck it, brother."
Did it catch the back? I don't know how the camera did.
Yes, it did.
Okay, but so yeah, I was gonna put it on, but I was like, I wanted to go the Valentine's theme. Although I don't even know if the camera gets it good enough. So yeah, whatever. I should have wore it. I'll wear it on the next episode.
Yes,
But
well, there you go.
but I so he didn't have his match this week. But there is I know we're gonna get into it. There is an issue about Brody. He wasn't on the show, and apparently the dirt sheets are saying it's because WB didn't want him due to they were afraid of upsetting Trump, and WB's in the process of trying to sell, so they didn't want any unnecessary controversy. But WB came out later on during the day and said they didn't have nothing to do with it. So, and if that is the case, the real question is why wouldn't you have him? You got a big show coming up. Why wouldn't you have him on it?
I think we all forget that wrestlers are human beings too. Maybe Brody had something to do.
Okay, that's fair. Let's hope that is the reason.
And he's still scheduled to have the match on Sunday. I mean, on Saturday. If he's still scheduled to have the match, it's going to be on TNT. Even though it's 2.5 hours, it's not going to be on a pay-per-view. It's just going to be on television. And, of course, HBO Max. I think, me personally, I think the IWC in general, anything that they feel, they just run rampant with it as of late. Like the lie about Royce Keys being fired, a.k.a. Powerhouse Hobbs, because he's old. Oh, he's too old. They didn't like that he's 35. What does that even mean? All the top guys are in their 40s. Every
So
top guy is in their 40s.
he said that the rumor was that he lied about his age, saying that he was 35 when he actually was 41. And they say his Wikipedia had
It's wrong.
instantly had changed with that. They said it was wrong. I'm not gonna lie to you. I ain't never looked at Powerhouse Hobbs' Wikipedia to know what it said before or not. I don't know. But
I looked at it. I was like, oh, okay. It didn't matter how old he is.
I don't think it matters either. I think that's this weird ageism thing because you can't get 10 years out of them. Most wrestlers don't even last in WWE 10 years. So what are we talking about? Like that's so I don't if your contract isn't 10 years, I don't like I feel like if you feel like a guy couldn't last for his contract, then you should say
Yeah,
we
oh, yeah.
can't do this. But like if he can last that, contract's usually what 2 to 4 years maybe.
Yeah.
If he can
5 at the
last
most.
that, yeah, 5 at the most, then it's no big deal. Like, let him do that, and then, after that, you can revisit how feel about him then, but if he can give you at least 5 years, run with it. I think people have this flawed vision that everybody's supposed to be, like, 25 so they can waste 5 years in the mid-card, and then after that, no, don't think like that. That's crazy.
It makes zero sense to me. Zero sense. We have
And
people like it.
most people, like even your young guys, after those 5 years, a lot of times people have turned on him anyway and don't even view him as like, oh, nothing can happen. He's been in the mid card too long. You know that view of signing a guy, hoping you can get 10 to 15 years out of him is kind of crazy. It should be like, we got you now. Let's just see what the best we can do, and then we'll revisit. But having a guy and having vision and all these years, a lifetime with them is ridiculous because you can change your mind on them. They can change their mind on you. So many things can happen.
So many things just don't make sense about that. Look at the guys. LA Knight. LA Knight was an older man when he signed in NXT, and now he's one of the top guys on the WWE right now.
I guess and this is just me trying to look through it through their vision is they probably see it where guys like LA Knight is, he's been working, he's been on TV, we it doesn't make total sense. I'm trying to argue it. It's not something I would argue, but I'm just trying to see how they see it. But maybe they see it like that and see Hobbs as an actual new talent.
Damian Priest, LA Knight,
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, the Usos. Gunther's in his late 30s, and he's a new talent. Everybody feels that way. Nobody's young that's on the top of the card. Nobody's in their 20s that's on the top of the card. Braun Breaker is the only person. CM Punk, mid 40s.
He's on his retirement tour.
Yeah.
He just ain't announced it.
He's just gonna be he's just gonna disappear like Austin and start working in the back in NXT. He's just
Yeah.
trying to work until Shawn retires forever.
I feel like there's a lot of guys that want that Sean spot. Cody's in interviews said it's gonna be me and Punk, and it's just like, how you just dictating all these?
Cody wants the Shawn spot because that was Dusty's spot.
That is true. That is true. Which even in those old interviews, I'm a Cody fan, man. And when he was on his indie run, he did a lot of interviews shitting on NXT. And now looking in hindsight, it was kind of like, oh, it really was just. I feel like that should be me. I feel like that's mine. I own that, and I get it now. That anger was just misdirected.
That Nepo baby. That's what that was. That Nepo baby was screaming inside. Give me what I want. Sounded like Batista.
Maybe. And I think it was rubbing him the wrong way where people was calling all the NXT people Dusty's
Dusty's
kids.
kids. When he was Dusty's kid.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
I don't
Dusty's
think anybody
kid
else cared. I don't think Dustin cared.
If Dustin cared about anything, that his father started an entire new family when he was a young man. That's what I would care about.
Possibly. I mean, they
Dusty's
did.
real kid.
God.
You know, that's what I'd be a little upset. Be like, dang, bruh, why are you out here reproducing in your ripe old age?
This is
Man.
some, I guess, less wrestling related, but I mean, it fits. I notice a lot of times people talk about Dustin and Cody, they'll be like, his half brother. But I notice like black people really don't do the half brother thing. Like if y'all
That's your
grew up in the
brother.
same house, y'all siblings. I guess
They
it
did not
sometimes
grow up in
when
the same house.
oh well, yeah, my bad.
You do. I said they didn't grow
Yeah,
up in the same house.
yeah, my
They both
bad.
lived with their mothers, and their mothers did not live together.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess you got a point.
And you got to look at how old how many years Dustin is older than Cody. Dustin was like 15.
See, me and my brother got 18 years difference, and we super close. I call it like every other day, whatnot. But we got the both same dad and mom though.
Yeah, that's a totally different deal. It isn't like your daddy went out and been like, "Yep, this is your brother now." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I got some of those sprinkled around, but that's another story.
Well, I joined the club, brother, but I've never met them, and I don't choose to meet them either. One is a corpse somewhere, so can't meet him
God,
anyway, brother.
that's so dark. That's so.
As Lance Archer would like to say, everybody dies.
I mean, yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
That's true. That's a factual statement. But back to Brody King.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
I just wanted to state that I feel that AEW needs to capitalize on this controversy because and I've said it before, but I took that video down because, like I said, I was the wrong day. But it's still on TikTok somewhere. I stated that I truly believe that Brody King needs to win. He needs to beat MJF, and I love MJF. Don't get me wrong. MJF is one of my favorite guys in wrestling,
MJF
period.
is great, and he if he loses, he'll always get the title back. But this moment is high and needed for them. This feels like I mean, think about Hogan when he first won and beat Iron Sheik. It was that big
Mm-hmm.
that patriotism vibe, beating it from the evil foreign guy. In this situation, a lot of people's looking at him
America
as
is
the
the
American
villain.
hero. American's the villain in this, but this is how people on the left would say of the a real American hero.
Mm-hmm.
While MJF is not the villain, he is just the he's the placeholder holding that title. But
He's just a
Brody's
champ.
winning this title as a representation of the real American hero.
Exactly, and I wouldn't compare it to Hogan because
I know
obviously
you would. You wouldn't. You would.
Hogan is a far right man, so Hogan is the
No, no, no.
villain in this
And
case.
it isn't. Yeah, no, it's not exactly that. But like, as far as the scenario, like
Yeah,
it's a new twist on it. But
I can see it. I can definitely see it. It's the evil people, which I guess the evil people was where Iran at the time when he defeated the Iron Sheik, and then when he defeated Sergeant Slaughter. But people didn't care about wrestling that many years later.
he was the Iraqi sympathizer.
Yeah, Iraqi sympathizer. Yes, I remember that pay per view. I was so excited, and your guy stole the pay per view cover as one of his shirts, by the way, Mr. Cody Rhodes. But
Oh, did he?
yeah, have you ever seen the one where he looks jacked and he's holding the American flag?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was the cover for WrestleMania 7, and instead it was Hogan looking jacked and holding the
I guess
American flag.
I've seen it and I didn't pay that much attention because it's usually always look out for new Cody shirts and I just be hoping that they don't have too much patriotism on it. And
Why
it's
don't
like,
you
oh,
get
another
the
one.
Why don't you get the one with the logo, but it's camo?
That's still
You don't want the logo?
logo. The logo looks
It's on his
like
neck.
it's on his neck. It looks like Extreme MAGA dude. Like
Yes.
it looks like it's like like the dudes with the Punisher logo on their
That's what I
trucks.
was thinking as well. Yes.
It
Yes.
gives me the same vibe, and I don't know what Cody was thinking when he did it, but it definitely. I hope it wasn't that, but that's what the feeling I get when I see the logo. And I know my wife mentioned it one time we was out in public, we went out to eat, and she was like, "Well, you got a MAGA shirt on," and I looked at it, and I ain't never seen it the same after that because Cody's my guy. I was riding with him, so I didn't think nothing of it until I had thought about it, but I never said it out loud. I did like, man, dude look like some MAGA stuff. But when she said it, it was like it was confirming those thoughts, and I was like, I gotta take his shirt off.
I'm going to tell you this. As a person who loves Hulk Hogan, I still wear a Hulk Hogan shirt. And I know who Terry Jean Bollea was as a person. You understand what I'm saying?
So I still haven't bought any, but I still want some Hollywood Hogan shirts. But I feel like I can't wear the red and yellow. I feel like because it feels like I get the image I get in my head when I see the red and yellow is the him at the RNC.
See, I was gonna say RNC. That was definitely not Terry Bollea. That was Hulk Hogan there. Unlike The Rock when he went to the to the to the Democratic National
Yeah,
Convention,
yeah.
and he was Dwayne Johnson. He did not come out to his theme music. Hogan came out to Real American. Then they WWE said, bro, you can't use that one. You got to use the other one.
God.
It was definitely deep. But I would like to say that I compare Brody King to Mick Foley beating The Rock and turning the tide for the WWE.
No, I totally do too. I guess I mentioned that scenario just of like the American guy. That was,
Yeah.
but yes, if he won it at the show, it would feel like a Mick Foley moment. But I guess I was just saying the reason why the people was behind him was like Hogan facing the Sheik. But
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
I can definitely see that. I definitely see that. I think this is AEW's chance. Tony Khan, this is your chance.
no, it
To
definitely is, man. Like being there, that got national attention. CNN,
hmm
MSNBC's reporting on this. Like this is a moment you definitely need to tap in on. The wrestling world already sees you as the liberal wrestling show. So
you're
I
the
mean,
you're the
it's
left
nothing.
of
Yeah.
professional wrestling.
So it's nothing. There's nothing bad that could come from this because this is what people already think of. You can't lose fans from this. It's only up from here. Like it's only a positive outcome from this if you run with it. And he ain't got to hold the belt for a year or nothing.
Oh, no, I'm saying they have a pay per view in a few weeks after this Grand Slam. Let him lose it at the pay per view. Let him lose it back to MJF or Hangman. Doesn't matter. But to have it, just that flash, so people want to look at your product. There's, like I said, there's so many people that don't watch AEW. He might not ever say it. There's a lot of people that watch wrestling. I don't watch that indie shit. You know how many times I've heard that when I say, hey, you watch AEW? I don't watch that indie shit. Okay. I thought you liked wrestling. I only watch the WWF or WWE. We watch NWA. NWA's dead. Okay, damn. But there's so many people
WWE
that
has
say
made
this.
such a good. I think they've established themselves so well within the last 30 years that they become synonymous with wrestling in America. So
Not only that,
And they cater to casual fans all the time. So while hardcore fans will look at AEW, hardcore fans who have looked at or Ring of Honor, they've always looked at the alternative throughout the years. But casual fans only know WWE, and that is wrestling. So anything else is less than. It's kind of like a sneakerhead where they only know Jordans, and then I'll come and like hey, you seen these John Morants? What? Yuck. That's just how it is.
all you know is Jordans and Kobe's. You don't know anybody else.
No, yeah, and that's the company's goal is we are wrestling. Even when they didn't want you to use the word wrestling, but when you start talking about wrestling, they still want you to think of them.
Exactly. Oh, we need a wrestler. You mean you need John Cena, a WWE superstar? No, no, sir.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
No, I want some wrestling. Not just your brand, wrestling. All brands. We're not wrestling. No, stop that. Stop it. Stop, Vince. Stop.
I
We're
love the whole
sports
thing is we're
entertainment.
not when they did interviews, they'd be like, it's not that we're not wrestling, it's we're more than that. It's like, oh
Yeah.
really? What else do you got? We got this movie. Oh, that one that nobody wants to watch.
You sure you don't want to see the Marine 17?
And all these movies that you claim make you more than a wrestling company are starring wrestlers.
Everyone said stars a wrestler. Hear no evil. Which I did see that movie.
Is that the
It
Kane
wasn't
one?
bad. The Kane one, yes.
I didn't see it, but
Well,
that
see no
was
evil. See no
that
evil.
was the only one that I remember other than, well, it was three. But when they was first making WWE films, that and Marine was the only ones that went to theaters.
Yeah.
Later, they had the Holly Berry movie that went to theaters.
Yeah. And then remember Ride Along with Triple H. He had to have a movie.
Did that go to theaters or did that go straight to DVD?
It went to theaters, I think. I'm not sure, though.
I don't remember. I
I
didn't
saw it
watch it.
years later. I did see it. It wasn't too bad. It was Triple H. And, it's not his thing. His best acting role was Blade.
Somebody said when WWE did I think it was the Royal Rumble commercial when they shot it at
Mm.
Universal. Also, at the same time, TNA tried to crash it. They said that Triple H was up there talking to people trying to get himself into the Batman movie.
I wouldn't be surprised. I can be Bane. Hunter, stop. Hunter, stop. I mean, hey, I feel like if anybody from wrestling becomes a true politician, it will be Paul Levesque.
He's already. I don't even know if he's intentionally doing it, but he's already setting himself up. Because he's in those talking spaces. He's being tagged in those White House TikTok videos. He's already, and I don't even know if it's intentional, but he is doing it where he is becoming a familiar face. Unfortunately, he is becoming a familiar face in the Trump administration, in the MAGA world, but he is becoming a familiar face.
Well, Linda's already there, so he got to join the family, right?
And Linda is also part of the rotating character cast of the Trump administration that people are not taking serious.
It's not even her job title, but she has a job that doesn't fit her
And
qualifications.
can I ask a question? Why did she always in all those like hearings and things, she always looks like she is too annoyed to be there. Like, lady, you picked this job. What are you doing? Like, you didn't have to do this.
You can stop and just go home to your house and
You're
talk to
rich. You're a
your yeah.
billionaire. You didn't need this.
Of course, but I mean, I think honestly, this might just be for her grandkids, for Paul, because if Paul gets fired, he can just transition over to being a politician. I can definitely see him, the governor of New Hampshire or Greenwich, Connecticut, or whatever. The governor of
Oh,
Connecticut, Paul Levesque.
he's
The
already
schools. I got two. Are you ready? And then we got Glenn, Mayor Glenn. The Undertaker gonna run for governor of Texas next. First Lady of Texas, Michelle. Stop it.
I need everyone from the Trump administration to go down so we don't get any of this stuff. I don't need it.
Let's just all root for Governor Andy Bashir to become President Andy Bashir.
But I
Of
don't want to keep talking about politics because the
yes,
people in the comments hate me enough, and I'm just
you're.
going to go ahead and assume that they are on
We're
the other
both
side of
heels.
things.
We're both horrible people compared to the comments. So what do you mean? When I said wrestling shouldn't have politics in it, I was called a Republican piece of shit in the comment.
I made fun of the time zone for
Yes,
the Crown Jewel shows for Royal Rumble and upcoming WrestleMania, and somebody threatened to kill me.
yes, he did. I'm glad. Glad to see you alive. I'm glad to see you still here. Young man, wherever you are, you crazy bastard. You know, I don't know why you trying to kill Mr. Wesley over here, best man. That,
And English
stop.
wasn't even his first language, and he typed it in English. That was
Translate. He's translator. The only thing he knew was he would use the blood emoji. He knew what was up with him.
he
Leak,
did.
leak.
I was.
He was intense about that. He was intense about that. No one has threatened to kill me yet. They just all said I don't know anything about wrestling. Like this one person who is intensely telling me that Kiana James is not mixed. She is Caucasian, and I'm like,
Oh,
the
wow.
fuck? You don't know who Kiana James is, bro. You didn't follow her career. I did. I've been vouching for her since the beginning.
And he told it he's 100% Caucasian.
Yeah, he's like, she's white. I'm like, bro, she posted Black History Month. Soul didn't, but she did.
I'm like also because
I know, cause she did post that one thing that about her being black. She is black. She knows she is. She just needs to say, I'm a sister. I'm a passing. She's one of those people that can go to the white school while her family can't. That's my cousin. Why you lying for them, girl? That's a darkie over there. You ain't one of them. Stay away from them. They'll give you the cooties. You know. So,
feel
but
like if our other co-host Shahid could be passing, he would gladly go on that side and never look.
it's okay. He would still be a metalhead, and he would still live the same life that he lives right now, except he would be accepted more.
Oh yeah.
You know, he would still live the same life, rocking out with his proverbial cock out. You know,
One of the
but
last times I seen him before and this is so off track. One of the last times I seen him before the pandemic, he was at this rap show, and he had like a suit on, and his hair was like permed, and he's like, "Yeah, man, next year, ain't nothing but white artists, man, rock shows. I'm done with these niggas." And I was like, "All right, bro, I got you.
God, God,
I got you."
Jesus. Jesus. Well, he seems to be halfway true with that because even though the first time I met you in person and the last time I've seen him in person, there was a lot of African Americans there, you included, and you were
Yeah,
performing.
yeah,
Afrodamas, shout out to Afrodamas, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
DS, everybody was there. Everybody in the chat almost was there, and everybody in the chat almost is black, you know. And he was there too. But after that time, there's been very few colored people in his life.
He loves rock. He loves punk. I respect it.
I mean, I was surprised when I knew when he was in hip hop. That shocked me because when I met him, he did not listen to hip hop. He had chokers on. He had earrings. He was going outside with the smoker. He didn't even smoke. He was just outside with the smoking rockhead.
I can see that because I also like even now like I don't think he like the type of rap that he co-signs sometimes I'll be like what, and then like there's certain things it's like just classic hip hop that everybody just agrees on that these is iconic things. He'll be like nobody listens to that shit, and I'm like what? And so now I can tell that he comes from a different point of view as somebody that did not grow up in the hip hop world.
Hip hop was not his first love of
Kind of
music,
like
but
kids that from like a new era, and then they'll like look at old wrestling and be like, "This shit's weak," and it's like, "What? What are you talking about? This is classic." But just like,
just
"Oh,
like
you didn't grow up with this."
just like when I sent that clip of the wrestlers that had great punches, and you said all they could do was body slams, of course, and that shows the age difference between me and you because that's not true. Jerry Lawler's finisher was a power driver, but now it takes 90 power drivers to finish a match.
So all right. So for me, no, it is all love for that era. I know when old like wrestling fans or old wrestlers themselves, they'd be like, back when people could throw a punch, and it's just like, all right, I know, I get it. But a lot of the match was punches. Like, yeah, y'all better know how to throw a punch. But yes, I give it to you. They were way better punches than today.
But you gotta think a lockup, a headlock, a hip toss, run the ropes, and a punch. That's a basic wrestling match. If you can't do one of those, you can't do the basics.
And I hear you. I hear you. I don't. Yeah, new dudes do need to work back on those punches. I'm not going to disagree with you with it, but I'm also not going to sit here and lie down and let you keep shitting on my wrestling and telling me that people don't know how to throw punches. I get it. Y'all knew how to throw punches. Y'all only need to do five things. So you better have the punch down.
Your favorite wrestler is Shawn Michaels. You have his shirt on. He threw a great punch. He threw a jab that looked for real. Looked
He
like he was
did,
hurting people.
but he didn't like to take a punch.
No, because they were probably trying to hurt him for real. We know Brett was. God damn it, Shawn! Just beating the crap out of him. But his not wanting to take a punch influenced so many wrestlers. Like Kevin Nash started throwing forearms. He stopped throwing punches. His punches became shitty.
Mm.
Hall, that didn't stop Hall. Hall still threw his punch, which so many people have copied Hall's punch, including The Rock.
Oh yeah.
But Hall is revolutionary. But Shawn could throw a punch. Brett could throw a punch. The wrestlers that you grew up watching, they all threw a punch. Cena could throw a decent
People
punch.
love to shit on all the time, but throws a great punch. And I hear it now. People give him props for his punch, but back in the day they shit on him any chance they can get. And that's Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, Jeff throws a great punch. Jeff always throws a great punch. But that's the 10. I'm going to say this. I do have a bias because I grew up watching and going to USWA Memphis shows. But all the guys that came from Memphis could throw a punch, including Rock. Austin had time in Memphis. He threw potatoes, as most people say, but them punches look good, But anyway, we got a little bit off track, but let's talk about these. WWE, as we both got this email, has sent out a buy one, get one free advertisement for ticket sales because, hey, it's Valentine's Day. You need to take somebody. You need to take somebody. In other words, we ain't selling these tickets. We got buy one, get one free. And if they ain't done by next week, we got buy one, get two free.
I seen it and I was just like, well, I already done got mine. But it does have a louder message that, tickets ain't selling as quick as they was. But see, WWE is one thing. And it reminds me of the sneaker world. During the pandemic, just like WWE, sales was going up for sneakers and they was selling like crazy. Instant sellouts of everything, even shoes that would not be popular at all if they released this year. And it was just taken for granted that this is how it was always going to be. Resellers was buying stuff and selling shoes at like triple the price. And that was just common. And WWE ticket sales have been going crazy. And they have been saying, oh, wrestling's in a boom. This is the hottest it's ever been, blah, blah, blah. They saying these things. And it was just like, or it was a pandemic, people didn't have much to do. They wanted to get outside. It was when they first chance they got. Like, wrestling is a niche, and it has, yes, there's lots of people that will go to a wrestling show.
Yes.
And
they just want to be on TV.
I did not
and experience it live. That's different.
But I don't think that it's in the sense to where you can say it's this big boom and you can charge whatever the hell you want to charge. No. I mean, I was dumb enough and I bought some tickets that was way expensive, but I'm a mark. That's me. And I am mad that I spent the money.
I'm a mark as well, but I'd rather spend it on the game, and that's what I chose to spend it on. The Monday Night War edition.
That game is crazy expensive. It is in all these different versions, and no, man. No, it's too much.
They added a different tier. They've always had 3 tiers since they did this. Well, for years they've had 3 tiers, which was the regular edition and then 2 special editions. Now they have 3 special editions in the regular edition.
Now, if you get the regular edition, can you later just go and upgrade?
Yeah, you can. Eventually, they will drop everything, but you have to buy it individually.
Right.
If you want to upgrade, you have to pay another $70 on top of the $70 that you spent.
Oh my God.
So the best, and even if you buy them individually, you'll end up spending, instead of $70, you'll end up spending another $100. So your game costs maybe $170, and they will always come out with another DLC near the end of the life cycle for a game. Just like this year, they came out with the John Cena edition, which I had already paid $150.
So
$140.
How much is the DLC?
So usually each DLC is about $10.
Okay.
So but they could go up because it seems like they're going to go up. So they might be like $15 this year. So if it's $15, that's, you got 4 DLCs, that's an extra $30 a pop for every 2 of them. And then they're going to come out with extra stuff. But there's also microtransactions within the game if you play my faction.
I seen a new article out talking about, and I don't know the full details about it, but it was about my faction and saying that like even after you buy some stuff, you still gotta like actually work your way like playing
Yeah.
through to unlock some more stuff.
You have to play the game. You have to play the game.
But after you done bought all this stuff, I should be able to just have all these characters I want. I done gave you all my money. Like, let me just have some fun.
I mean, yes, but okay. So this past year, I would say last year. So last year, the most sought out, the two most sought out characters were TNA AJ Styles, which I did get, by the way. I got TNA AJ Styles, and Triple H 99, which was my time Triple H.
Best thing.
And he had the theme, and the theme is only unlockable through that. Our mods. I did not get my time Triple H, but because he's harder to get than AJ Styles. AJ Styles, I didn't have to pay any money. I would have had to pay money to get Triple H. I just
How much would it
grinded
have been?
enough to get. So the game's like this. So you have to get characters, but the characters are kind of like you don't know. It's in a lottery, right? So it's kind of like random pulls. So you don't know what characters, and you always need specific characters to do specific live event tasks.
This is not fun, man. This
It's a
ain't
cash
fun.
grab. Now, later on, in a few weeks, they'll have them where if you have enough money built up, which is virtual currency, or you have enough my faction points, which is you've played the game enough and did certain tasks within the game to build up these points, you can purchase the character that you need, and then you must beat. I think so. The character that you needed to get Triple H, I think, was Stone Cold Steve Austin, but you needed to do some like crazy stuff to get Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I was late to the party, and I did not get Stone Cold Steve Austin. But
Stone
so
Cold
I
Steve
did not get
Austin. He
Triple
should
H.
already just be on the game.
No, Stone Cold is in the game, but the special card to play with that Stone Cold, that specific Stone, in the mode, so you can unlock the Triple H for all the modes. But you can play with base Triple H. You can play with Triple H from 2004 when he had the long hair when he came back to behold the king of kings. Then the game hit. But yeah, but WWE is going up on everything. The game is costing more, which they added instead of just 120 or 140, it's 150 now. To get the Monday Night War edition, the tickets are out of this world. Granted, I know we both went to the Royal Rumble last year. That was definitely more money than I wanted to spend.
Same, man. And my SmackDown tickets was on par with my Royal Rumble ticket.
But you're sitting on the floor. You wasn't sitting on the floor at the Rumble,
No,
but
no.
you're sitting on the floor at this, and hopefully at SmackDown, hopefully you'll see your guy Cody Rhodes. You can get him to sign your Winged Eagle title back there. I see it, brother.
I better at this point. I feel like for what I've spent at the shows, Cody Rhodes should be going through the floor and just my bad, y'all. I know his tickets is high. Let me sign something for y'all. Like that's how it should be.
Cody Rhodes will see you if you go to the Wheatley American vodka signing, because dude, you're like 6'6". How can he not see you? He would think it's like, oh, it's a Louisville basketball player. That's cool, Like he's gonna see you. You're gonna be taller than everybody else.
I wish I still had the box so he could sign this, but I don't. I need to get a new WWE Cody anyway. This is the New Japan one.
He can just
My,
sign
my
the figure.
He could, yeah. I had the box. My daughter convinced me to take out the box. She was a little younger, and she was like, well, why would you have a toy if you don't take it out the box?" And I was like, "All right, man, I'll
That's
take it
true.
out."
I mean,
And
from
now
the
she
kids,
has Funko Pops, and she does not take them out the box.
because she understands toiler now and how it works, and that you don't take your toys out the box unless you have to. Granted, I did break that code because all the He-Man, not all of them, some of the He-Man toys behind me, I don't have two of. But I do have two Castle Grayskulls. I have an old school Castle Grayskull that's sitting next to me at all times. This is an original from 81. And then I have the one that came out a few years ago. But that's the only reason I took those out. But most of my toys, which I do have a lot of toys, I do
This
have two.
He-Man talk makes me want to go back and watch Netflix Masters of the Universe.
Stop it. Don't do that. Watch the original He-Man from 1982.
It was a good show,
83.
man. It was a good show. I have no pre-bias to compare it to. From what I've seen, I liked it.
And that's the reason I said go watch the original He-Man from 1983. It's on Netflix. It's free. I mean, it's on YouTube. It's free.
So it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Just type He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and then you'll get why people hated that first season. You'll be like, oh, that's why. It had nothing to do with the original. Nothing.
It was a nice story, man. I liked it.
Like I said, I think he did a pivot in that because he knew that people were like, "Bro, stop making it something for people. Stop making a political statement. We don't care. We don't care that your brother was behind the corners giving a man fellatio. We don't care about that.
I didn't even know that.
That's not really happened. But his brother is homosexual.
No, I didn't even know he had a brother.
Yeah, Kevin Smith has a brother, and he's gay. So he's very like gay rights and stuff like that. Which I'm not against gay rights, but it ain't got nothing to do with He-Man, bro. Tila don't need to be licking tacos. That's not her job.
I thought his brother was Jason Mewes.
As much as they spend time together, you would think.
I didn't know he. I thought that was all he had.
I wasn't a big Kevin Smith fan because he did hate Batman vs Superman, which is a movie I love very much. So
Oh man, I don't like that movie.
I might not like you either. But
We talked about this.
yes, we did.
I love Batman. I did not love that movie, but I will watch it again to see if I can like it a little bit better.
Watch the Snyder cut, but the original cut I didn't dislike either. Like watch the director's cut because it's better. But I've seen that movie at least 30 times.
I've probably seen it twice.
I saw it like 5 times in the movie theater, and then
God, I walked out the theater like, what the hell did I watch?
I watched at the theater in tears talking about I need to go watch it again, and
Oh,
I
really?
did. Yes.
I did go back home and watch. Oh God, what's it called? The animated Batman and Superman,
World's Finest.
World's Finest. I love
Well,
it, man.
that's a masterpiece. You can't really
Yes,
touch that.
I thought we was gonna get something at least loosely based on that.
I knew that wasn't going to happen after they showed Ben Affleck in the Frank Miller Batman suit.
Yeah, but I still wish it.
We all wish we can't get that, but maybe you'll get it now with James Gunn, something like that when they do run into each other.
I don't, dude. I like James Gunn, but I don't want him touching Bat. Well, he's already touched Superman, but I don't want him touching Batman or Superman. Although Superman wasn't bad, I liked Superman.
I was
It
gonna say
was
you
fine.
didn't seem upset. I was in the room when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
watched that movie.
Yeah, I like Superman. I did. I think the only thing I didn't like was, and maybe I'll warm up to it, the scene where Lex is cutting that, that heel promo, and then the dog just starts going crazy and biting him. I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
when
what?
Crypto almost ate him alive.
This is-
That was not okay.
I don't like, and this is a huge Marvel thing, and I know James Gunn is from over there. I don't like annoying, not annoying. What's the word? Like those like comedy scenes, like where it's like a setup and then this joke comes, and then like sometimes it's used. Like James did it in the first Guardians where they did the dance. I was like, this is
Yeah.
how we. Like, what are we doing, man? like, this is how you beat your villain? Come on, man.
My only issue with the movie was that he couldn't do a movie where it was just Superman was the hero. And it makes me feel like all he can do is team up superhero movies.
I mean, he does that in Peacemaker too. But I always feel like that's like a weird TV show thing where like the character, like DC shows did that a lot on CW. Everybody had their own little team, which was
There's nothing
weird because
wrong.
everybody links up and does the big mega crossover event and everybody teams, but then y'all split up and then y'all all got little mini teams.
We got the figureheads and then they go back to their own homies, their own little thing. It's like if the bloodline hooked up with the NWO and something strange and the Four Horsemen, and then they's like, okay, Flair, Hogan, and Roman are gonna be in this superpower, and then okay, we're gonna go back to our things. No sense. No
If
sense at
Batman
all.
had a TV show, it'd be the whole Bat family all in the house. Just nonsense, man. Like everybody, and then having everybody's inner drama going on.
That's why Batman is the most protected DC superhero. He's more protected than Superman. Batman is protected. Superman is not.
Yeah, but I mean, James Gunn Superman. I mean, Batman. Robin's gonna have to come grab him and throw him in the Batmobile after he's done got beat up and stuff. It's gonna be Alfred's gonna have to come save him. Everybody's gonna. Then we're gonna have
That's
two
why.
Batmans running around like it's
But that's
whatever.
why we're gonna have our own a darker version of Batman with Robert Patterson's Batman.
Which is nice, man. I knew when the movie started with Nirvana playing, it was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be special.
And the red lighting, I thought that
Yeah,
was really
yeah.
cool. It was very dark. It was
I don't like
definitely
his Bruce
set
Wayne,
up.
but other than that, I'm with it.
Bruce Wayne is just another nepo baby, but it's
Yeah,
Batman.
it's like And I know he's from. Is he from Twilight?
Yes.
And his Bruce Wayne feels like a character from.
I think it's just Bruce hasn't coped with the death of his parents yet, but I was like, you were 8, bro.
He was 8. This dude's like
You
in
were
his
8.
20s.
You're a grown man
I
now.
I need
Stop.
I need Playboy Bruce. This is sad dude, sad kid with money. You got money.
I thought it would have been better to play him like I'm him getting drunk and being like an alcoholic and just like banging women and then walking away.
And that would have been understandable. That would have been understandable. But he was just in the mansion whining. For how long you gonna do this, man? How long? Come on.
I'm not over this yet, but he never got over it. But hey, this Batman was good. Maybe the Batman 2, whenever it's done, it'll be a lot different than what we saw in the first one. But still,
It just
keep a lot
shows
of
you.
the aspect that
It
we do.
shows you how rich people don't live in the real world. Because in the real world, your kid is, man, my dad died. Man, I'm sorry to hear it, but go home for a minute. But that assignment's still due on Friday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You still got shit to do, boy. The world don't stop because your world did. You know what I'm saying? But hey, he's rich. Who knows? Speaking of rich kids, Tony Khan did not let Private Party go to the WWE.
Yeah, yeah. I seen that return,
And they took a L. I thought that was horrible.
but I am interested to see what they do. They've been gone for a minute. I think they've been gone since they dropped the title.
They
I'm
have.
interested to see where they go from there. Mm. They got there's some new people for them to play with. So I'm interested.
Yep. And your boy, Myron Reed, he had his AEW debut match on Dynamite with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Private Party and the Bucks. He took the
And
pinfall,
that's
but
what I
hey.
was speaking of when I said new people to play with. And that is,
Hmm.
the Rascals, yeah.
That's true. That's true. It was good. It was a good match. I don't bring back Private Party for that. But I wanted them to go to the E, honestly. Due to the simple fact that I've kind of lost faith in the Street Profits as an African American tag team. Not the New Day. I feel like the New Day is a staple tag team. But how many more years are they going to be there?
I don't know, man. I didn't like when people suggested them splitting up because everybody's fan fiction of them splitting up because it was all about Montez going solo, but it was always, oh, one of them turn on each other and they have this match, and then he goes into Money in the Bank, and it's just like, damn, like why does it gotta be like that? Can it just be Montez challenges for soul title, which he did do something like he was in Elimination Chamber before. Like why can't he didn't have to, they don't have to have this big unnecessary feud just for that to happen. So I always turned away from that. But now, like you mentioned, they've been stagnant for some years. So maybe it is time to just make it really split up and just do it. Like because we've
It
been
doesn't.
wasting time.
It can be a draft split. Hey, we don't want Docs. We want Teds on Raw or
Could
SmackDown.
be.
Don't matter. And then Docs go to SmackDown or Raw. It don't matter. He stay on SmackDown and Teds go to Raw. Something like that. You know, we would like to say there is no black women on Monday Night Raw. So if Teds goes to Raw, that means Bianca goes to Raw.
Mm.
You know,
But she'd be useful over there. So it's all, I bet. I mean,
with Naomi gone anyway.
yeah, and we ain't seen her either.
If
But yeah,
Bianca
no, it'd be cool
is
for her
not
going
in
over
this,
there.
I think so. I think we need.
It's just the problem is she had when she was around, that's where she was at. I think she did get drafted to SmackDown, but she didn't do much over there, did she?
Who? Naomi?
No, Bianca.
Bianca was still on Raw because Montez been on SmackDown. I mean, still on SmackDown. Montez been on Smack. Street Profits ain't been nowhere.
So I was saying because you was like, there's no black women on Raw, and it's just like she could
There's
go
not.
over there, but she just was over there. Like you know what I'm saying?
She needs to. I mean, she was over there just because she was in the title picture. She
Yeah,
didn't win the title, and then she went. We ain't seen her after that. We ain't seen her since the match. Since she refereed the match of Naomi
yeah,
and
yeah.
Jade Cargill, and Jade Cargill is doing her best work right now. Her and Jordan Grace. I'm pretty sure Triple H was moist. Triple H was hard over the muscle mommies being attacked over. Steph, you should probably gain a little muscle. Look more like Jordan. Yeah, get big, Steph. Here's some tests, Steph.
Well, she ended up sounding like Jordan.
I'm Stephanie McMahon. If she takes testosterone, she won't have a choice but to sound like Jordan.
God.
Sorry. Hey, let's Mr. the Octopus. He loves it. Okay, he loves it.
I'm trying to watch my words because one, I don't want people attacking me about it, and two, I'm a Jordan fan. I don't want to sound like I'm hating on Jordan because I've been a Jordan fan since she was chubby, so
You like
I'm here
big
for her.
Jordan,
If
big girl Jordan
she
Grace.
I, I thought she was cute chubby, so I'm whatever. So
Now she's
I'm riding with
jacked
the real.
Jordan. She's Jack Jordan.
She looks good, Jack. She does. I'm not trying to take that from her.
She's a lot softer than what she was when she was near the end of her TNA career.
Oh yeah, she was a monster over there.
And they took away her move. They took away the Juggernaut driver.
People was gonna take that in WWE.
That's also the Penta driver.
Yeah, but I feel like they. I mean, I don't. I
They
guess
also took it away from Penta. They gave him the Mexican Destroyer.
is that his finisher now?
Yeah.
Okay, because he was doing it just like as a signature move from the beginning.
The signature is a Penta driver now. And then the finisher is the Mexican Destroyer.
Okay, well, that's what it is. I'm mad they took away her theme music.
Oh, that was horrible. I think she needed the sirens. But I think they only want Braun Breaker to have the sirens.
Man, when I hear the sirens, I think of Jordan Grace.
Well, they want you to think of Scott Steiner when you hear the sirens.
You can't, but see, you can't have it both ways, man. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't change your name. You Braun Breaker. I'm not a Steiner, but I am a Steiner. But I get the sirens like a Steiner. No, I can do a promo hinting at Steiner math, but I ain't. Don't call me Steiner. No, man. You one or the other. You cannot have it both ways. And Scott Steiner wouldn't have tore a hernia flipping the table either.
That's true. He's not Big Papa Pump. He's not Rick. He's not that much of a freak like them. The Steiner brothers, if you watch them old NWA, WCW Steiner matches, the Steiner brothers are on a different level than anybody in professional wrestling right now.
Yeah,
But Jordan Grace's sirens go back to Scott as well from TNA
yeah.
when she was
Big
Big
Mama.
Mama Pump.
Yeah.
Scott Steiner's running wild in the WWE and he ain't even there.
Which is funny because they always try to align him with his uncle and mention Scott. But when they were a tag team, to me, Rick was the cooler one. He was barking like a dog. He had the gear on over his head. He was the cool one to me in the
Well,
team.
that's in the team, yes. Like he always stood out more. Scott was Scott when he became part of the NWO, and then he became Big Papa Pump and started cutting random crazy promos.
So am I tripping? But it felt like it wasn't until he went solo and cut his hair that his arm looked like the weird Frankenstein monster they became.
No. So he started getting really big after when he broke his back, when he had the back issue, and then when they wrote the Steiners off and said the outsiders ran them off the road. When he was home by himself, he got big, but that was when he started getting starting growing the goatee, but his hair was still long and everything, and he was wearing the weight belt over his singlet. And they stopped wearing the multicolors and they started wearing the leather stuff. That's when he started getting big again.
Okay.
He started getting big, and I was like, oh shit, Scott's big. But you really didn't notice because he wore a singlet. Granted, you saw that he was bigger than Rick, like more jacked than Rick. But he wore a singlet. But then that next night when he cut his hair and he was like, I'm the superstar, Scott Steiner. And then who later became Big Papa Pump because I guess superstar Billy Graham was like, bruh, it's enough with that. Hogan stole my gimmick. You can't do it too. Stop it.
I hope he complained about him the way he complained about Kofi Kingston.
Being champion.
That man was so annoying because he only had two things to talk about. It was Kofi Kingston's too small, and can you help me out because I'm dying, y'all. Like
I'm dying.
You can't do I'm dying and then go and that Kofi Kingston too small. Like what is going on, man?
I feel like the person that Kofi Kingston beat was Bryan Danielson, and he's bigger than Bryan Danielson right now, and he was then as well. Bryan Danielson is not a big guy, so if you're gonna be mad, be mad at everybody.
If you were to ask me, I'm just one guy. I don't really think that was his main problem.
Look, he didn't say it about Ron Simmons.
No, but then there was no internet for him to go, rant about it on either.
He could have went back and said, I hate that black man, Ron Simmons.
Probably did.
Ron still would have beat his ass.
Oh, definitely.
Damn.
Definitely. But, he now, at the time he had the internet at his disposal and he could go ramble on about how he thought he was too small. But it was plenty of other small guys that had got the belt before. It was like, why did you wait to complain about Kofi?
I'm waiting until Ric Flair gets drunk and he says how he really feels about black people.
Teddy Long already told us what. Like,
I know that. I want Ric Flair to go on a Twitter live feed and be like,
he ain't that
"Woo,
dumb.
F those hands."
He ain't that dumb. He ain't that
No,
dumb.
drunk Ric Flair, not sober Ric Flair. He just did a line of coke and he drunk, got some nose candy. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. He think it's 1987 and he's going against Coco Beware again.
Too many black people like him, even in a intoxicated state. Too many black people like him
Yeah,
to
they do.
make that comment.
Ric Flair's drip will go away.
And even that though, but I don't know, man. Black people still they still like them some Ric Flair. They still like them promos. They still like they like everything about him. Don't do it, Rick. Don't.
No, do
I
it.
know you. I know
No.
you probably feel that way, but don't do it.
I mean, I hope he doesn't do it. Just because he's somebody that people can still like that was an old school wrestler. But Bill Dundee and Teddy Long both said that he threw it intensely and intentionally with the N word. Strong.
God.
One was about just Teddy Long himself, and the other one was
Yeah.
about Coco
Yeah.
Beware. But that's Bill Dundee, and that's a Caucasian man, whose son was in the Nation of Domination. I always remember he was in the Nation. JC Ice and Wolfie D, and they rapped the song.
Been thinking we got this Nation of Islam rip off wrestling gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Those two white boys in there is to rap their theme song.
Well, the Crush was in it. Crush was white.
I mean, just the people you chose for the theme song. Why were they white? Yeah,
Because
Crush was.
they had a rap gimmick in Tennessee. Doesn't get any funnier than that.
I guess yeah. Did they wrestle any matches with Nation, or was they just out there rapping?
I think they had like one or two matches in the Nation. Most of their matches together were USWA stuff and a couple ECW matches.
And then people gonna probably laugh at me, but when they split, everybody split up and started making their own gangs. Savio left and grabbed some Puerto Ricans. I was like, what?
He is Puerto
Savio
Rican.
was always black to me. So I was just, what is this? What is this about, man?
Why Savio Vega got these Puerto Ricans? You turned your back on your culture? No. He's embracing this culture.
It threw me off, man. I didn't know what was going on. He had left the Nation and grabbed some Puerto Ricans. What is going on, man?
Crush left the Nation, got some skinheads.
Yeah.
Which was like you totally took a left, didn't you? Savio got Latinos, and then Farouk just got black people because he kicked PG-13 out the group, and the rap stopped.
Which it didn't need a rap. The theme song was fine without the rap. It's just
I
the
like
We Are
the
the
rap.
Nation was enough.
I like We Are the Nation, live and in color. You bum rush, you just a man and we bum rush your mother? Come on now.
Oh no, it was cool. That like the newer like the Attitude Era version of them without PG-13 and everybody. I just felt like that's iconic without the.
Ron Simmons or The Rock, who was your leader of the Nation of Domination?
I'm gonna go with Ron. Rock was cool as the leader, but it was just like when he did it, it was like, oh damn. But so I see Ron as the leader. Rock's heel turn with that. Well, I mean, he was already heel, but turning on Farouk and stuff was needed for his character. As far as looking at the Nation, like I look at Ron as the leader, and I really don't remember much when Rock took over. I just remember him taking over.
That was when they changed the theme to "You Better Know Your Role." And he became the ruler of the nation, not even the leader of the nation. He was the ruler of the nation, and then he said the co-ruler was Owen Hart. So then they started getting white people again. He opened the door back up for a nation of equality. Nothing wrong with that, folks. Don't hate on me. Don't tell me I'm racist. None of that stuff. You probably will, you bastards. But anyway, that's fine.
But Rock's, I will say this, Rock's Nation and DX feud was was gold. So I might need to go back on that one. But I don't know. I always see Ron when I think of the Nation. But yeah, I don't know.
When I would watch The Nation with Ron, I felt like everybody was madder than the group. When I watched The Nation with The Rock, here's the difference. When I watched The Nation of Domination and I watched The Nation was just about The Rock. The Nation of Domination was about everybody. Mark Henry, D'Lo Brown, Kama Mustafa, and Rocky Maivia. It wasn't, and PG-13 and everybody else.
Did he become the Godfather in Rock's Nation?
Yes.
Farouk wouldn't have put up with that nonsense.
No, no. It was like, I'm gonna pimp some hoes. Shut up. Ron just spine busted me. I'm not gonna have any hoes tonight. Just gave me a dominator for no reason. But I honestly think the nation, the old school, the nation of domination helped make a lot of people. I think if Mark Henry would have never went on his monster run if he didn't have that part. Him. I honestly wish he would have been started the Hall of Pain as soon as the nation was over.
Yeah,
So we could have
he
got
didn't
a
have that intensity yet. He didn't.
no, not at all. No, I think he had it. He just didn't want to do it. If he did it for reals, he would have killed everybody in the ring. Like, you broke Sean's back for real. Not just so he could take and get paid $1 million to sit at home. You actually
Well, he
broke
said he
it.
wanted to kill him, so
He would have killed him. Would have killed Paul, Triple H, Levesque.
that's what he said he wanted to do.
He would have. Sean Waltman would have died.
I thought he liked X Pac.
He liked X-Pac. Actually, he said X-Pac was the most unracist person in the nation of domination. And I truly believe that. I mean, in the
He said
D-Generation X.
that Sean didn't, the X Pac didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't understand blackface. He said where he grew up, he didn't. And honestly, I can believe that because even me as a kid growing up, there was other kids that didn't really know what blackface was.
I believe that too. It's a black thing. I think white people like, oh, we did that shit. It's kind of frowned upon. We're not going to do it anymore. We're not going to even talk about it. We're going to act like it never happened. Like
I think
Hogan when he said
nowadays
the N-word.
people don't really understand what blackface is because they just label anything. Oh, it's blackface. And it's just like I don't know.
Does anybody remember when Ted Danson? You might not know who Ted Danson is.
I don't.
He was Whoopi Goldberg's husband at the time, but he did blackface.
Okay.
He played Becker.
I've
I don't know
seen
if you've
him.
ever seen the show Becker.
No.
Or Cheers. Cheers is definitely before your time. You wasn't even born when Cheers premiered.
I know Cheers.
Then
Everybody knows your name.
Yes, you know the song, but he was Ted in Cheers. He was the main bartender, the main character.
I didn't really watch the show. It was on. It was one of those shows where it was like, oh, man,
Was it like MASH?
Yeah, dude.
No,
MASH came on. It was bedtime. Yeah, it was bedtime when MASH came on, man. But I do think now maybe if I watch it, I probably would like it a little bit more. Well, I'm not gonna say like it, appreciate it a bit more. I'll say that. But as a kid, back when it came on, it was like it's about bedtime. That's what that meant.
I can see that. I was still young when the show was fresh and new. It wasn't on reruns. It was on primetime slot right after the Cosby Show, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but I definitely watched the show. I do have to ask you a question. What do you think? Do you think that Dominic Mysterio will be healthy enough? And it looks like they're trying to set him up to wrestle Finn Balor at WrestleMania.
So I think so. He's back on TV. He's cutting promos and stuff, and he ain't giving up them titles. So I think he's gonna be healthy and in time for Mania.
Who's gonna be the babyface in the match? Balor or Mysterio?
I'm gonna tell you this. I don't think nobody knows. There's an article that came out that said that many stars don't know what their role is at WrestleMania. That's one thing. And then I've noticed Finn Balor's been posting stuff like lately. To just like a few hours ago, he posted a pic. It was like a picture of like his body with like parts of different people. Like he had like Roman Reigns tattoos, CM Punk's trunks.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's like, we're so back. So I think Finn is maybe low key campaigning for a babyface run for himself. And so I think, it could go anyway. It could go with after losing the Punk at Elimination Chamber, Judgment Day turning on him, which is simple, straight to the point, set up for Mania. Or it could go anywhere. You got Road Dogg and Triple H in there thinking of ideas, quote unquote creative team. They can go anywhere with it.
Hey, I'd do it. I would do it. I'd move to Stamford, Connecticut, get an apartment. I'd be there.
Yeah, definitely. I would do it.
I'd be there.
But just watching it Unreal, man, it don't look like.
I didn't say it was fun. It's a job.
But it doesn't even look like, when I say fun, like it doesn't. It sounds like most of the writers don't have much of a say so. They're in there to help write things to fill in the idea that Triple H has, or the idea, or people making the idea they think that Triple H would approve of. But it's not like, I don't feel like people in there well, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this, and that? Like, oh, that's a cool new idea. I don't think that is what your role is on the writing team.
Probably not. Probably not. It's
Which when you think like we're creative, like why wouldn't we be in here throwing out creative ideas?
that's true. That's true. But you also have to think the head of creative is Triple H, and then he has Road Dogg over here, who doesn't matter either. It's just Triple H,
But his position is like kind of like number two to him, right?
head of SmackDown. He doesn't have anything to do with Raw.
And he's in there, and I hadn't respected his writing ideas for a long time when he was defending the whole thing about Becky Lynch when everybody was saying she wasn't the heel in the situation and he was sitting there arguing, which dude, you supposed to be a writer for sure. Why are you arguing with people that watch the show when you write it?
And this take it in, write it better, and shut up. That's all you
Yes,
need to
that
do.
do that. Don't sit there and argue with people. But when she got over after the whole Nia thing and the SmackDown invasion. I mean the SmackDown invasion, and she got
I nose
super
broke.
over after that. He started going on. I mean, I guess it was tongue in cheek, but he was out there being so pro Becky Lynch, and it was like, no, dude, you picked your side.
You thought it was Charlotte Flair's the babyface. No one wanted Charlotte. And people love Charlotte now, but that's only because she's with Bliss.
But even the way, like, let's say, like, we just be kayfabe, the way that storyline was going, it didn't look like
No,
Becky
no.
should have been in the wrong. And it was
No,
just like,
Charlotte, they wanted it to be a heel, but Charlotte was wrong the entire time. Just like,
and it's just
Charlotte's.
like, because I know, like, in wrestling, people are like, oh, you guys are just being marks. You think you know everything. And it's just like, all right, let's just go in kayfabe. The way this is playing out, Charlotte's not in the right. Like,
No,
it's just,
exactly. And I think that's so hard for you as a writer. Like, oh, this is my idea to turn this person heel. And then people are like, that doesn't work. That's
and
not right.
And I think I know so much because I listen to I've heard Stephanie and Triple H, they say the same things. So that's how you know they married. They'll say wrestling's this ultimate story of good and evil, and it's like maybe. However, I don't think that's exactly how fans see it. Sometimes it's the guy I like, and it's just and it's we talking about a story about people that are fighting. How can everybody be good? Like we usually want to see people fight. Like, and how can everything isn't black and white like that.
Not at
So
all.
and it's proven as many times where a guy like John Cena will keep doing things that in a sense I guess is supposed to mean that he's a good guy. And then after a while, fans is like, no, man, you've been doing it too much. You've been, like we booing you now because we not liking this. Does that mean that he's no longer good? Does that mean the fans are evil? Like it can't be that simple. You know what I'm saying? Like so in certain situations, no, it's not just about who is good or who is evil. Sometimes it's just like what people want, what people like, who people because it's wrestling. Like it's not so there's shades of gray everywhere.
Exactly. I look at wrestling it's like a sports team. You can be like, I like the Atlanta Braves, okay? And then there's somebody that doesn't like the Atlanta Braves. Is that person an evil person because they're not going for Atlanta? No, that's not that's not the city they from. That's not who they resonate with. It doesn't matter. We had the Super Bowl this past weekend, and it was the teams were two teams, even though there wasn't the most talked about thing about the Super Bowl weekend. Wasn't the game itself, but it was still two teams. Two teams were talked about. All
That's
right.
so funny because every at the Super Bowl, fans of like whoever's at the halftime show, they'll always be like, "Man, why is there a football game going on in the middle of such and such concert?"
Yeah.
But this year, it really felt like it was a football game during the Bad
They're in
Bunny
a Bad
concert.
Bunny concert. I mean, I think it was just people truly sitting waiting to watch the two halftime shows that happened, and they didn't even care about the game. You care if
Two
somebody went. I
halftime
don't care.
shows headlined by some arguably WWE legends.
WWE legends, Kid Rock and Bad Bunny. I honestly think that Bad Bunny is going to have a match with Logan Paul, and maybe a
I can
tag match
see
like
it.
Theory, Reed, and of course Logan Paul, the Vision versus Bad Bunny and I guess the Rey Mysterio and Penta.
Mm.
Our Dragon Lee and maybe the Lucha Brothers and get them together. But Dragon Lee, if Ray's hurt, I know Ray was hurt, so it could be Dragon Lee and Penta.
But Ray's been working though.
He was, but he wasn't on. They said he got hurt at the Rumble, and he hasn't been seen since.
I always say he got hurt at the Rumble.
Yeah,
See, I had heard he got hurt before that, and then like he was.
I heard that too. Ray's injury prone. Please retire Rey Mysterio. Give Don the mask. Give Dom the mask.
He's already
In
got
the
the
Hall of
Hall of
Fame,
Fame.
bro. Maybe he's waiting for the filthy animals to get put in the Hall of Fame. Conan, Disco Inferno, Billy
He be
Kidman.
waiting.
He'll still
He
be
be waiting the rest of his life for that.
Tigress. He wants everybody in it. I don't know, but that the whole Bad Bunny, Logan Paul retracting his statement that his brother said, not really retracting, but going against what his brother said, really truly makes me feel like this is going to be a WWE match at WrestleMania.
So you seen him get questioned by Fox News before that, and he did that.
No, yeah. Which it seems like it's a work. It seems very worky to me. It doesn't seem like a shoot, especially for a boy that lives in Puerto Rico by choice, because he's rich enough to move anywhere he chooses
Yeah,
to.
but it's not a. I love Puerto Rican culture. It's a. Oh, I heard I can get out of paying taxes if I move over here.
Oh, I get that.
Which, just like the Braun Breaker thing, once again, I don't think you can play both sides. If you like, oh man, I can save some money if I move over here, then move over there and embrace the culture. Don't move over there to save money on taxes and then call people from there not real Americans. You
The
not real
real
American no
American.
more.
But look at this. WWE could at this point pull the trigger if they don't let Brody King win the AEW championship. WWE could pull the trigger at WrestleMania by letting Bad Bunny beat Logan Paul.
Oh yeah.
And they've automatically pulled the trigger, even though we know they are the left. I mean, they are the right. The WWE is the right. Triple H is the right. Triple H is wearing red. He's on the red team fully.
WWE act
Even
like they didn't know what to do about acknowledging Bad Bunny during the Super Bowl. So like their Instagram did not say like congrats to Bad Bunny for performing at the Super Bowl. They just posted a clip of Bad Bunny's entrance at Backlash. They're like, what an entrance for Bad Bunny.
I saw that. I was like, you guys are copping out. You can just say thank you to this man. You ain't got to show that he rocked the house, which he did. He had the loudest entrance on the whole pay-per-view. The PLE,
Who
when him
knows
and
why we
Damian Priest.
posted this clip? But anyways, it was a really
You might not know who Bad Bunny is, but he's doing something special. Let's
I
rewind
just
it.
got something going on this weekend. I have no idea what, but
Ain't too big. Biggest moment in American sports, but not too big. This is more talked about than the game. There's people that didn't know who won, who was in it. They didn't know none of the players. They just knew, oh, well, Kid Rock got something to do with it, Bad Bunny, and Cardi B might be there. That was it. That's all they knew.
and she was there.
And she was. And she wasn't even in there, and she still got headlines. She was just there in the background dancing.
Yeah, Mandalorian was there. Nobody even acknowledged that.
I know. I do have a question for you. This is not wrestling related, but it is kind of wrestling related. I saw this on a independent wrestlers Facebook page. They said, why are we celebrating Puerto Rico in Black History Month?
Fuck you, that's why. A wrestler really said that?
Yes, he was
You know
black.
what's so funny? You said he's black?
He's black.
Okay, so, all right.
I saw this on another woman who wasn't a wrestler, but she said the same thing. But I don't think they knew each other, but they both felt the same way.
So white people say that just to be jerks, but there's this weird, and I think these people have always existed, but there's this weird phase of black people who's like, the whole, there's multiple reasons. There's the weird conservative black person that's just saying it, I guess, to, I don't know, get cool points from right wing friends. But then there's that Black History's every day. It's not just 1 month. There's that crowd. So I don't know which side he's on. I'm assuming since he threw in the Puerto Rican thing that he might be on the first side of the
Yeah.
the right way. You know what, man? When I'm celebrating Black History, I'm not thinking of anybody that thinks like you, man. I'll tell you that.
All I know is that the WWE did not do anything for Black History. They did not show
They did
a
not?
photo for anybody specifically. Not even Sol Ruka in her quarter blackness.
Maybe. Damn, that's crazy. They did used to do. I was gonna say maybe they're waiting for a couple weeks, but no. Black History Month, they used to throw clips out all throughout the month.
It was there. I mean, I was looking up. I was looking forward to it due to the simple fact that last year, if you remember, they didn't acknowledge Dr. King's birthday, but they
They
did
did
this
do
year.
that. Yeah, they did
And
do
I
that.
figured, hey, they're going to get back to the WWE of old. But that's not what happened. They did not acknowledge anything that had to do with coloreds, as the blacks, if Kurt Angle would like to say.
WWE is in a weird space where they just don't want to do anything that seems politically anything. I mean, even though they're literally in bed with the Trump administration. Like they
Red team, they're throwing up bees right now.
but they want to look like they don't have anything to do with anything in regards to politics. But since they, when first year Trump's run, it was we hate DEI everything. So I get it. Like Doty's like, all right, let's back out of this stuff. That's still like I guess imaginary villain in their world, but
Yeah,
I've seen things like, where they have celebrate, like, the White House has done some things to celebrate Black History Month or whatnot. So I thought WWE would jump on it. And I've seen other companies like, like last year, it was like Black History Month was like people was whispering it. Like YMCA didn't really do much, but like this year they got new shirts out and stuff. So it was like, okay, I thought, I just assumed, all right, Black History Month's cool again. White America's, they happy
we've
about it again.
accepted it again. We'll
Yeah.
allow y'all to have a month. But tomorrow, in March, y'all don't matter no more. Shut up.
I'm used to that. It is what it is. I'm used to it.
That needs to change. That's just
It,
how I
it
feel.
does, but it is what
It
it
just
is. Baby steps.
you
I'm
ain't
just
you ain't
trying to.
gotta give it a month. Just when somebody created something that has to be of color, acknowledge them, as Roman would say.
Yeah, what? It's so funny. I guess I just grew up in a liberal bubble where I never was around people that had it, or at least I never heard it say anything bad about Black History Month growing up. And so now, like knowing that people say, like you go online and people say all these crazy things, during, why do we have a month? They don't, all that type of stuff. Like as a kid, like I didn't see nothing like that, and now it's just so blatant that there's this annoying people that just want to talk shit about it. When what you could do, you could just spend a month like, all right, man, let me see what these people really about. Hey, they invented this. They did. They it changed your whole viewpoint.
A month of just educating yourself and stop being ignorant. But that's hard for a lot of people. It's
And
you
yeah, and
know.
maybe since I don't have no weird hate to any group, that maybe it's that's why it seems like it's I have such difficulty seeing why they have a problem with that, because I wouldn't have no issue with Spanish heritage, Latino heritage month come up. I don't. These niggas get basically 2 months. They get half of this month, another half. Oh, like I've never felt like that.
I mean, people just hate that somebody, you might not have any interest in it at all, but once you see that there's somebody of color or somebody different than you, then you start taking a stance. I say that because a buddy of mine, he's running for city councilman in a small town in Indiana.
Okay,
He's running on the Democratic ticket. The
okay.
people that when he registered, they said, "Man, we don't have that many Democrats here. You're gonna run
Mm.
unopposed." Once they published the article that he was black,
Oh my god.
there was a Democrat opposing him. Someone re-registered as a Democrat, and then they are now opposing him just because he's colored. No other reason.
Indiana do better, man. Indiana do better.
And I was like, well, you're one of the only 5 black people there. You knew that was going to happen.
What part of Indiana is he at?
No, he's in Utica, Indiana.
Oh, he's not in the. See,
No, no,
I I
not like Jeffersonville or
I,
nothing
I
like
only
that.
know fake Indiana, New Albany, Jeffersonville,
Louisville Light,
Clarksville.
Louisville Light, that suburb in Louisville called Jefferson, called Jeffersonville, Clarksville, New Albany. That's what that is. But no, he doesn't live there. He lives like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Louisville.
God,
He comes down here all the time, but I mean, he comes out here every day. But
part of Indiana they say is racist.
yeah, but he lives there, and he's got a nice. You can get a nice piece of property out there for inexpensive.
Yeah, but you gotta stay in Indiana.
You just got to sleep in Indiana. He don't stay in Indiana. He takes that 2 hour drive every day.
You start talking about Indiana, like especially like with like older black people. They go, that's where the Klan was at.
That's a factual statement, but not in the part where we are, where we going, and we ain't going that far. I put it like this: the Klan is in parts of Kentucky, and I live in Kentucky. There was a woman on Facebook. She was like, "You don't want to come to my part of town." I'm like, "Okay, I won't."
Lady, I
I can't go to the part of town. I can't go to the city where my family, where the majority of my maternal side of the family live. I can't go to Mayfield, Kentucky. What do I look like?
Mm. I feel like
So,
I've been to Mayfield. I don't know what for. Is there a college nearby there?
I think it is. They also had that candle making factory that got destroyed during the tornado.
I think I've been there.
Or the
I think I've
earthquake, one
been
of the
there.
two. But I've been there. I've been there in passing. I didn't go to stop. I didn't be like, hey, let me go find my family lineage. No, it's not that serious to me, buddy.
But if you got family down there, they'll show you where to go.
I'm not searching for them niggas. They ain't searching for me when they come up to Louisville. I'm not searching for them when I go down there.
Do they come to Louisville?
I assume. I don't know. You gotta ask
Oh,
James. James probably knows more than I do. He at least talks to somebody related to him other than me. I don't.
I don't know how many family members he keeps up with though, man.
He keeps up with Cousin Eddie. He has no choice but to keep up with Cousin Eddie. That's his auntie. That's who keeps him afloat. You know what I'm saying? Not financially, but probably emotionally. I'm pretty sure Eddie keeps him afloat in some ways, in some things. They there together. They family. That's what they should do.
I got a funny story about her. It didn't happen to me, but a friend of mine. It's like raining hard, and she rides by and sees him,
Hmm.
and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just heading home." She's like, "Oh, better get home quick." And just drops off.
That's horrible. You could at least took him home.
I don't know what was on her mind at the time. She's
Did
gone.
she take you home?
She's taken me home. I wanted it plenty of times, but I don't know. I guess in that day she wasn't in the mood. I don't know.
She's like, not today, nigga. Not today.
Yeah, but
Not
it,
today,
it, it was a
Wayne.
friend of ours. It wasn't me, but
It wasn't you. But
but
she
she
knew
knew
him though.
him longer than she knew me.
That's horrible. She didn't like him that day. Didn't they?
Yeah,
Didn't you all live near each other?
yeah, we all live near each other. Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't everybody live near each other? Isn't that how y'all knew each other? Jesus Christ, the Latter
yeah,
Day
yeah.
Saints
But I do know she didn't. I remember she didn't live there, so I guess maybe she wasn't.
going that direction. She went
Yeah, it
there.
could have been her.
She went there every day. It did
So
not
I
rain.
thought she lived there. I'm talking about for years. I thought she lived there,
Yeah.
and James was like, "Nah, she got her own spot." And I'm like, "What?"
Why is she always here? Why is she always here?
I promise you, I thought she lived there. Man,
I ain't gonna lie. So I thought that was his mama for the longest time because every time I saw him, she was with him. So I said, "Is that your mama?" And he's like, "No, it's my aunt." I was like, "Okay," because we ain't like first cousins.
right,
We
right.
like
No, I get you.
we like fifth cousins. So it's like, okay, cuz how does this work? Like who's
They
related to
got
who and
that
how this
type of
works?
like relationship, don't they?
They do because
I know if
all I
I
knew
ask
was
him, he'd say no. So yeah, like I know if I ask him, he's gonna say no, we don't. But yeah,
him and Cousin Eddie like this. They like this. That's the reason I thought that was his mama. They like that.
yeah. I've never met him, but he's told me a million stories about him.
Bad stories.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was gonna say, I assume they wasn't good,
No, no, they weren't good.
but nah. They okay. They not like that, but they used to be like it. Is what I'm. When he was
Yeah,
younger,
yeah.
they were like it. They were like it for real. Like there was. He couldn't deny because he'd be like, "We should all come over." I'm like, "I don't like a nigga." No. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
he was like a villain in his story, but he was always a character. It was like a feeling like South Park, like Cartman. They keep Cartman around. They love
They
him.
keep Cartman around,
Yeah,
but he's always screwing something up and teasing somebody and making
right.
somebody's life
Yeah.
a living hell. He was like Cartman to that man, but we would just give each other dirty looks. There would be no other thing. We never said a word. Never. We just look at each other. They'd be like, "You gonna speak to him?" I'm like, "He gotta speak first. He in my house.
I
I
feel
ain't gotta
that. I do
speak."
feel that though.
We be in church. You gonna speak to him? I was like, "Grandmother, aren't you the mother of this church? Aren't you the first lady of this church?" Well, yeah. Then I ain't gotta speak first.
Oh,
He
wait a
ain't
minute.
my.
Your family ran a church?
They did. Then they turned it. They turned it around. Mount Horeb Baptist Church. My grandfather, won't technically step grandfather. I'm not gonna lie in this motherfucker. But my step grandfather and my grandmother started a church. They stopped being the pastor and everything. Well, he stopped being the pastor later on down the line. But they did start the church. And if you walk into the church, you will see my grandmother, my mother, and my and my great grandmother sitting together in the front of the
Okay.
church. Oh yeah, that was my picture anyway, niggas. I hope y'all know that. That was my mama's picture. That was mine. But anyway, I'm a petty man. Just to let you know, I'm petty, and I hold grudges. But anyway, that's just me. But I do have. But back to the wrestling, I do have a question. So with the changes, first of all, Tommaso Ciampa had a very short reign as TNT champion. That made no sense.
Yeah, I'm a little lost on that one, but whatever.
I love Cal Fletcher, but I love Tommaso Ciampa more. Did he go over there just to have a good match and lose? He could have did that in the WWE. But I also
Yeah,
heard that
I don't
he's
know.
getting a fat check from Tony.
Yeah,
He said
I
financially.
just seen that. I just seen that it was said financial reasons was what led them leaving. Who I don't because
It
he's at
could do.
WWE for a while. I mean, I don't see them being cheap with him, but who knows?
I don't think he liked the road. He got comfortable being in NXT and only working and doing a loop and going back home.
I do think looking back, I feel like he was pushing to stay there, and I think at that point that was a cool spot to stay at, and they probably was paying him a nice amount. But then when they did the 2.0, it was like y'all either gotta leave or
Leave or get fired. I'll be a trainer at the PC. But either
yeah, it was
way,
one of those
that's the only
deals.
way you're gonna stay here all day.
And so then they, he went on to the main roster, but even while before he left, I mean, he was in a I don't want to say prominent. He was in a the team division. I don't think he wanted to stay there. But
I think
I
he
still
wanted to
think
stay with Johnny, but he still wanted to do single stuff. Johnny just wants to wrestle.
yeah. But now the news story is that Johnny's looking to leave him and Candice.
They want Candace to be a writer, a producer. They want Candace
Oh
to be
really?
a producer for the women's matches. If she loses, if she leaves, as old as she is, I'm not being an ageist. I don't. But Candace is a very small woman, and everybody in the WWE is big. They are huge
Do you
compared
know
to
what?
her.
As a not no disrespect, as the older lady, as a smaller lady, even in this day and age, 2026, she can hang.
She can hang, but she's not a. I feel like she's a good wrestler. I'm not saying that Candace is bad. Johnny's a good wrestler. Johnny's gonna always be U.S. champ.
Can at least
That's
just get that.
that. No, like in maybe not even U.S. champ. He's gonna be in the conversation for the U.S. championship.
I got you. I got you. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
gonna be in the conversation for the U.S. championship. But you'll never see Cody Rhodes versus Johnny Gargano for the WWE championship. No, but you'll see maybe you might see Johnny Gargano versus MJF for the AEW championship.
And you know what? And if that is the case, I'm still thankful we at least got the crazy run that they got on NXT.
That's true, but we could get Johnny if Johnny does go to AEW. FTR DIY AEW,
Oh,
which
it'd be amazing.
AEW has turned into Black and Gold NXT.
As soon as soon as they started getting that money and things was changing in WWE when people was leaving, yeah, it immediately just kind of just turned to that overnight.
Shock the system, undisputed era.
Yeah, like all that, like it felt like it just kind of just happened very, very quickly. People just leaving out of NXT and then popping up AEW. And so AEW did feel like NXT just without direction. The
Yes,
guys was there and maybe too many at once because it was a bloated thing and no clear plans for anybody. But without all that, that's where the guys was going.
I think they didn't pull the trigger with them fast enough. First of all, and I
No,
and I would have got Adam Cole. I would have put them together, and I would have put the strap on Adam Cole immediately.
I do think he did try to pull a trigger with Adam. I will say that it just unfortunately Adam was getting hurt.
It was too late to pull the trigger with Adam. He pulled the
'Cause, I
trigger with
mean, at least
Adam.
Adam got he didn't get the title, but he got a main event at
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that he was able to get that main event. He deserved it. I know a lot of people hate on Kyle Fletcher for giving that missed power bomb and got another concussion, and he might not ever wrestle again. But I don't think he's going to get fired. He can continue to play video games on a Twitch stream provided by Tony Khan and get paid.
is he still streaming now?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he probably is. Chugs is always streaming.
Well, I mean, I think people love Adam, so they'll stream with him. So at least that's an avenue for him. He don't
Nothing wrong with that. Speaking
he
of
won't
streaming,
have
I would
to.
like to. I'll continue.
As I say, he won't have to work at Walmart. I was gonna reference it. I wasn't gonna name drop him, but since you did, in his prime on SmackDown, I did not give a damn about Heidenreich. I don't know what it was, but I didn't like him. Um, he looked weird, but then when I seen him in that picture, and it was like, damn, maybe I didn't appreciate.
He's a friendly man. You brought up his
Yeah,
past,
yeah.
and he was
But
still able
but I
to
didn't see
acknowledge it.
that. Yeah, I didn't get to see that. I just seen
But
big buffy evil dude
but you
that I
can't
now
you
remember for breathing on Michael Cole, you know?
really closely. It was very intimidating and kind of rapey, but it's
Yeah, it was
okay.
just weird. Uh yeah, I never cared for him at that point. But then when I see him, it's like, oh man, maybe I was too harsh on him.
I would like to say that Heidenreich, and this is with anybody. We don't know who a real nice guy is,
True, true. That's very
you know,
true. Did you
because
read the
you're
story
a
the dude
character.
gave?
No, I didn't. I didn't read it all. I just saw that
He was
Heidenreich
like,
was there at the Walmart.
there's an older dude that works at the store with me. You like we say hi, every in passing every now and then one day he just kind of said, "Hey, you watch wrestling?" And he's like, "Yeah, I used to watch a lot." And he's like, "Yeah, well, I had matches with Booker T and Undertaker." And he's like, "What?" And he said, "I looked him up, and he did. Here he is now." And he showed these pictures of him, and it's like, "Oh man, this dude had to be like, you seem like the nicest guy."
And, but we also know, at least from the past, from what we known, nice guys don't finish first in professional wrestling.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Let's talk about it. Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Terry Jean was a shrewd businessman, wasn't he?
You
That
had to throw
doesn't
in
work
your
for
guy,
him,
didn't
brother.
you? You had to throw in your guy.
He wasn't a nice guy. Ultimate Warrior, Jim Hellwig, screw the Ultimate Warrior. Nobody liked him.
Randy
I
was a
guess
good guy. He was paranoid, but he was a nice guy.
put Liz in the closet. Yeah.
He was paranoid and all right, so he was paranoid, probably a little bit on the domestic side, but the boys liked him. I'll say that.
Okay, and the fans loved him. All the children said that Randy went out of his way to treat them well. But Randy always wanted kids, and Randy couldn't have kids. Him and Liz never had children. He didn't have kids with his last wife. He didn't have kids with Gorgeous George either. But Randy wanted kids. So Randy was a good dude, but he was also a shrewd businessman. He was a Jew. Jewish people are definitely about that money. Ask
I just
Paul
want
Heyman.
everybody to know the wild take of the week was not by me this time. What I didn't say it. Saudi Arabia was sending me death threats last week, so I
Look, Paul
now
Heyman
you're
is
about to get
also a
attacked by
Jew.
the ADL.
Paul Heyman is also a Jew. He's all about his money. He will throw everyone under the bus.
Yeah,
Ask
but
anybody that worked
he's
at
willing
ECW,
to like to say things like that. He'll co-sign those things.
because he knows it's true. He's done it before.
I
Bret
like to
Hart
say
don't
that's not because he's Jewish, it's just because he is a stuck-up asshole.
look how well Goldberg did, and this is Goldberg did very well for himself. At Bret Hart's expense, by the way. But
God,
Goldberg did very well for himself.
he apologized to that man so many times.
That doesn't give him his career back. That doesn't make his life better. That doesn't make him a multi-time WCW WWF champion, which he was, but he only won the WCW title twice.
How many times did
Twice.
he need to win it?
More than Hogan. Hogan is a 13-time champion.
How
Bret
many
is
times did he win a
only
WCW title?
who? Hogan?
Yeah.
Like 7.
Oh God.
I mean, it's like Hogan had a lot of WCW title reigns. You got to think. Remember, he lost it to Luger. He won it back
They
on
went back a couple of
Saturday.
days. Yeah.
He lost it to Sting. He won it back a few months later. He lost it to Goldberg. He won it back from Nash with the finger poke of doom.
To be fair though, that kind of was like the big plot in WCW. You had to beat NWO, and to beat NWO usually was Hogan carrying the belt. So like he was like the evil boss to beat. So I mean he did have to get it back.
I mean, of course, Hogan was the overarching villain, but
Yeah, so like you conquered him, but he has to get it back.
I will always state Sting should have beat Hogan clean, and Hogan, that should have been the end of the NWO. And not necessarily the end of the NWO, but split into two. You can have the Wolfpack. Bret Hart should have been the leader of the Wolfpack, not Kevin Nash.
No, man, Wolfpack was too cool. He needed Big Sexy, man. I don't know. I
I
don't
didn't
know.
say him not in it. I think it should have been the new generation guys. Kevin Nash, Hall, Bret Hart, because they were still there when Hogan left to go to WCW. Those were the guys that carried the WWF. Since the whole thing was that the NWO was technically it was built to be the WWF was attacking WCW.
I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I would have kept them in black and white.
No, I mean keep the black and red. They don't have to be black and pink. I don't say they have to. They don't have to be
No,
the
no, no.
Hart
I'm
Foundation.
talking about like I see Brett with Hogan in black and white, not in red and black.
So you think it's better for him to be in the Hogan heel faction. But why would Brett be a heel when he was supposed to be a hero and that was his whole thing? Is it because you love Shawn Michaels?
No, I guess in my mind, from that period, he was always not always, but from '97 on, he was a villain who seen himself as a hero.
I could see that. But you do have to think he was screwed in the Montreal screw job. I think we all kind of
Yeah, yeah, he's screwed.
respect that, right? So he was screwed in the screw job, and then he was put into the match to where he got fired. So he became in the babyface. He interfered in the match on the behalf of Sting, which I don't even think was needed. But he interfered in the match on the behalf of Sting, helped Sting defeat the NWO. He should have stayed babyface. Sting should have stayed WCW. Luger should have stayed WCW. I don't like the fact that they went to be NWO, but I think that it would have been better if they would have just stayed NWO, white, black and white, with Savage and Hogan, Vincent, Ted DiBiase, and anybody else that was old school WWF. And then all the other people, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Six was gone by then, so Pac was already in WWE. But Hall, Nash, and Bret Hart, and by then Bulldog and Anvil could have went there. They could have been the NWO Wolfpack. You could have added a younger person like Conan because they needed Conan to be cool, to add to the cool factor that was already there.
I need to find that promo where Hogan disses X-Pac.
Well, I remember that. I've seen it. I've
I've
seen it.
always seen the X-Pac promo acknowledging it, but I ain't. Did he really say he couldn't cut the mustard?
Yeah. He said your boy Six Pac couldn't cut the mustard, brother. But Hogan. It was, but also Hogan when he said, "Hey, brother," when he was cutting the one on Randy Savage, because little to known fact that the genius Lanny Poffo was hired in WCW, he just didn't wrestle that much. But he was like, "I was the reason that your brother was able to be hired," calling Lanny gay, and he's had that.
Okay, I have heard about that. Was
Was Hogan no?
No.
Was Lanny gay? Lanny says no. Lanny said no. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not Lanny's dude. I don't know. I'm not with Lanny. I don't know if Lanny's was.
I know Lanny was lying when he said Macho said he was only going to the Hall of Fame if the whole family could go.
Macho did not tell the truth. But Macho was dead as well. So there's that. We can't really say that Macho he wasn't there. He might have said, "No, Vince, no. You got to put the whole family in."
According to Lanny, that's what he said. He said he would only go in if his whole family went in.
Well, Lanny accepted that, and Lanny allowed him to go in, and Lanny inducted him into the Hall of Fame. So I don't think that's true.
It was Lanny's word. Eventually, he just gave in and let Macho do it. But he claimed he said he's not going in unless we all go in. Well,
it's good that Macho deserves to be in. I don't think too many people cares about Angelo Popo. Just to put it out there. He was a great promoter. He had a good territory, but WWE is here to bury all territories and leave them in the past and put them on a network or a random YouTube channel. Except USWA, I have not seen one USWA clip, so I don't think they own that. I think Jeff owns it. Jeff needs to have.
I heard they lost a lot of their tape.
They did. It was always taped horribly. If you ever see any of it, you know it wasn't taped well. Most people just have like what they recorded from the television, on their VHS tapes. That's usually all the stuff you can find about USWA, which is sad. USWA, I think a lot of people could learn some things from USWA. Yes, more than Body Slam. Sorry, Peter. Those promos.
I don't have no beef with the previous generation. I just want to stand up for my guys, man. When they say, man, they couldn't hang with our guys, like, okay, chill out.
What guys are you talking about? No one said Shawn Michaels couldn't hang with them because he was one of them.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true, and his Mount Rushmore definitely tells that.
Yes, because Shawn's Mount Rushmore is everybody from the South. Everybody was like,
yeah,
are you like that person? That's who I grew up watching. Yes.
But it's fair.
So no, your guy couldn't. Now, if you're talking, Bret Hart definitely could have wrestled with the USWA guys. He wrestled with the USWA guy himself, Jerry Lawler. That was one of Jerry's first feuds in the WWF.
I wish Jerry would have just. I mean, I guess he just didn't want to go USWA, but I just wish he would have came full time into wrestling WWF.
Vince didn't.
Why not?
Jerry Lawler isn't a big man. Jerry Lawler wasn't a young man. He wasn't fresh.
But
Jerry
most of those
Lawler.
guys wasn't fresh at that time.
Well, no, so that was when he started bringing in Brett. Brett wasn't fresh, but Brett was younger than Jerry. Brett
I'm
is
saying,
younger than
what
Jerry.
if Jerry would have came in like in the '80s though? That's what I'm saying. Full
He would have
time.
had no. He would have. Jerry would have been a jobber
You think so?
to Vince in the '80s. Jerry going over Hogan.
Maybe not, but
Savage.
I mean,
Savage
I don't
wrestled in
know.
Memphis before he went to USWA. I mean, before he went to WWF.
It's Jerry Lawler. I mean, he's a star.
That's not how Vince would have saw him. You know, think about this. One of the biggest draws in wrestling period outside of WWF was Ricky Steamboat. Even in the WWF, Ricky Steamboat, until Shawn Michaels wrestled The Undertaker, Ricky Steamboat was known as the man having the greatest match in WrestleMania history with Randy Savage. Ricky Steamboat never became the WWF champion. He left and became the NWA heavyweight champion when he wrestled Ric Flair. He had timeless matches with stunning Steve Austin, but he was never seen as the guy in the WWF due to the simple fact that Richard Youngblood was not a big guy. Is not a big guy now. He's bigger than the average man, but he's not larger than life. He's not Hulk Hogan. He's not Andre the Giant. He's not Big John Studd. Hell, he's not taller than Slick.
Funny you mentioned Shawn Michaels and Undertaker because it was that same year. I want to say it was that same year, um, where he damn near almost stole the show with Jericho.
That's true. That's true. And that shows that I feel like people appreciate Ricky Steamboat now, just like they appreciate Randy Savage more as an in-ring performer now. And I'm not by now, I mean like the past 15 years.
Right,
But
right, right.
when those people were active in wrestling, they weren't appreciated for what they could do. Ricky Steamboat didn't give like the most exciting promo. That was the difference between him and Randy. It wasn't that he couldn't wrestle as good as Randy, because that wasn't true. Ricky
Right, right.
Steamboat gave a basic babyface promo. Hell, so did Tito Santana. Back then, the only time a babyface promo mattered was if you were saying something over the top. Randy, I'm the cream of the crop. Hogan, what you gonna do? Even the stupid Ultimate Warrior, the warriors of darkness, the monsters are coming from the dark. Stuff like that. It really didn't get you over.
So
But
my
that
wife's
doesn't mean.
a Warrior promo last weekend. She was creeped out.
Why did she watch it? Why? What was the purpose?
I think I had said something about Ultimate Warrior, and she's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "You don't know Ultimate Warrior?" And I was like, "All right, I'll show you." And then she's like, "What is wrong with him?" And I was like, "I don't know, just how he was."
Pre-workout hit hard, boy, back in the 80s, because it was Coke, He did a line, he's like, "Hate ball, the warrior. Vince, I hate these people." In the same sentence. I'm
At
sorry,
least he
Jim.
never broke character.
None of them broke character. You didn't break character in the airport. Undertaker was the Undertaker until he
Well,
became Mark Calloway.
he did break character at the airport,
He couldn't
but
come in.
what was his? At least he didn't have none of those crazy outbursts on TV.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
He's already crazy in character.
that's protected. You in the ring where everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, Ultimate Warrior." Then they're gonna be like, "Hey, are you the Ultimate Warrior? Can I get your autograph? I'm a child." They didn't put him around children. They at least trusted DiBiase around black kids. Remember the basketball? I know you've seen the
Yeah.
thing, but they trusted DiBiase around children. Hogan was definitely always around children, because he was the biggest Make-A-Wish guy up until John Cena took his spot. So Hogan was around children. Jim hated kids. He probably hates his daughters now. If he was alive, he would have clotheslined them both and hit them with an ultimate splash.
Well,
Jim,
if he was still alive, it would have been him at the Republican National Convention instead of Hogan.
it would have been the Mega Maniacs, him and Hogan together.
God,
The Ultimate Maniacs.
that would have been crazy enough for them to lose. I wish that would have happened. That would have been what did we sign up for? Like this is no. Get this out of here. This
You didn't think that when Hogan came out and ripped his shirt off? I thought that. I'm like, bro, stop. No, they're not going to win because this is ridiculous. But then Kamala decided to have Cardi B. And I was like, yep, now they're on an even playing field. This is both ridiculous.
So the conventions have had all that kind of stuff before. I think the only difference, because people did complain about all that, is that it's never been a time where you've had urban entertainers take part in that. And that's the only thing. But now I notice we live in a world where anything seems slightly different that doesn't cater to a white point of view. It's an uproar these days.
Of course, but
But I
it
mean,
isn't these days. It's always been that way.
yeah,
You know,
always, always. But
I'm
these are the
gonna
days that it's now been happening, like that these risks have been taken. But you look back and all those conventions, there's always been like celebrities or
yeah, celebrities
saying,
always show
yeah,
up and they
yeah,
sing and stuff, but they
yeah.
don't give speeches. Cardi gave a
I,
speech. That
she
was the
did.
wrong thing.
Uh, yeah, maybe I don't know.
And,
I
it
didn't
isn't
care.
like it's the same thing if if Dwayne Johnson would have came out as The Rock, if he would have had to hit the music.
He has done something like that. It wasn't at the national convention, but it was some, I forgot what it was. It was a political rally. He did come in character to one. This is like 90s. I
Vince
don't remember
told
what.
no, he was sent by the WWE.
Right. He did, yeah, he didn't come on his own. He didn't come on his
Yeah,
own, but he did do, I just don't remember what was that?
I remember what you're talking about, but yeah, he came with the sunglasses on, the Versace shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but he was sent by Vince. That's when he
That's for the
decided to
whole
go.
smack down your vote thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That was it. That was it. He was sent by Vince. Hogan wasn't sent by anyone. That
Oh,
was
no, no,
Terry
no.
Dean Bolea going
Well,
out there.
well, he might have been sent by Peter Thiel, but
Well, Peter paid for him. Peter kept him afloat after Gawker,
saved
so he
his
made
life.
sure.
Saved his life. And it all makes sense now. But yeah.
Now you know. Now you know. Now you know what really made let Hulkamania live forever. Peter Thiel.
And it all threw me off. I was just listening to a podcast about Peter Thiel, and then the whole, what was the website called?
Gawker.
Yeah, the whole Gawker case came up, and then I was like, man, that's the company that Hogan sued. And then they brought up, and I was like, wait a minute, he paid for his whole, like,
Yep. He funded Hogan's lawsuit. You go have to
yeah,
think that Hogan wasn't making that. Hogan didn't have that much money. That was after Linda. That was after the WWE firing. Hogan's No Best was a flop by then. Brooks Knows Best didn't do too much.
oh, I didn't know she had that.
Yo, you didn't know Brooke knew she had her own show.
Oh no,
He was
was
on
it
it
on the
most
same
of it.
channel?
Yeah, he was on
Okay.
VH1. He was on there mostly. Linda wasn't on there too often because it was after the breakup. But Hogan was on there all the time. Like it was documenting her moving out of the house and being in her apartment and living with two friends. One was a
I'm not gonna
male,
lie to
one was a
you.
woman.
This
It was like
sounds
Three's
like
Company.
the college spinoff to a sitcom, and they never do well.
A Different World is making a comeback, so I beg to differ.
Okay. They always have not always. Some of them have a cult following, but they never do bigger than the original.
Oh no. A Different World will never be bigger than the Cosby Show. But A Different World it has its place in history, and it
Yeah,
might be
yeah,
bigger
yeah. I'm
than
not taking nothing away from a different world.
might be bigger than the Cosby Show. Even though Bill was not found on the Epstein's files, Bill was found to do other things with Quaaludes.
That's because he was on a one man mission. He
Every
was
woman
not
that
in a
says no will end up saying yes. Da to the pudding
he
pop.
was he wasn't out there, man, Jeff, can you send me some hoes? No, I'm gonna go find them. I do the dirty work myself.
I'm Bill Cosby.
And while he was not in the Epstein files, he was at the Playboy Mansion.
There's so many people that were at the play. You know who I was looking for? Speaking of the Epstein files, I was waiting for Vince McMahon.
I was gonna say I wouldn't expect it, but you know what? As crazy as things are, but no, yeah, that isn't as, I was thinking like, no, he never would be connected with that. But you know what? Stranger things have happened, and he is friends with Trump. That wouldn't have been surprising.
They just came out that Jeffrey Epstein was a wrestling fan.
I seen that. I did see that. Whatever. I guess.
Once again, we are looking worse and worse by all the people that are associated
So,
with us.
I don't take it bad like that. All right, you like wrestling, so what? Luther Vandross like wrestling.
And he also said that he was railroading, he was having sex with the mega powers.
That's
Hogan
what
and
some
Savage.
lady said. I don't think he would ever say that. Even if it was true, he would never. That man died. He spent his life protecting his identity, so he would never been going around telling you who he was messing with. And I doubt he was touching the mega power.
Yeah, baby. Hulkamania ran wild on me.
Yuck.
He had him singing the high notes with that python, brother.
But he would never go around. I mean, I'm sure his little inner circle maybe, but other than that, he would. The people he would tell wouldn't tell anybody because they ain't
Yeah, I
said
was
nothing
going to
yet.
say they would have kept it to the grave. I think they just
Yeah.
wanted to piss on him and Hogan and Savage because everybody in the whole situation is dead now.
Yeah, why is it that, man?
If we think about it, look at all the wrestlers. Now, for me, it's a little bit more wrestlers that I did that I watched growing up, but for you, it's quite a few as well. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, definitely it is.
We got Hogan. Obviously, I have to say his name first. But Mr. Perfect, that was the first one that bothered me. Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude, those two, that bothered me because I loved Rick Rude and Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Hellman bothered me maybe first, maybe because it was like, damn, he was just on Raw.
Yeah, Pillman was there. Brian Pillman's bothered me, but just because of how young he was. But I felt like the loose cannon gimmick became who he was as a person.
Yeah.
And if you start doing stuff like that and start living the gimmick, especially when the gimmick is so toxic and dangerous, something's bound to happen to you.
Let him pull out a gun on on.
That would never happen again. Never.
They did do the fake gun.
Oh, with the Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
the kid, I was on
surprised.
the edge of my seat. I was like, what is he about to do?
Is he gonna shoot him in the head? And then the 316.
Yeah.
And then Vince Pete himself.
But
I
I ain't
don't.
gonna lie, I was on the edge of my seat during that, man.
Oh, it was exciting. I was like, I know he ain't gonna shoot him, but let's see what is he going to do. That was one of the things. I would like to say that made it very exciting to watch professional wrestling. But the real question, I have a question for you. I heard a lot of people say, what are the pillars in the World Wrestling Federation for the Attitude Era? But I feel like a lot of people leave out Mick Foley. Do you leave Mick Foley out? Is he not a pillar of it? Is he not some of the top? Is he not top 5?
He's top 5. I never was. Okay, let me be careful about that one. I never was a fan of like Mankind Mick Foley.
Okay.
Now, love me some Cactus Jack.
Yes.
And I thought I like Dude Love, but just dirty Mick Foley. It one, he's always getting beat up. Two, he just
Yeah.
looked a mess. And then his character, not Commissioner Foley,
I
but
know you.
like sucking up to Vince, fake corporation Foley. That I just the
When you got the false
character,
teeth in.
yeah, like the character, the appearance. No, I didn't like none of it. But and it's weird because I feel like no, I was gonna say I felt like if he was Cactus Jack longer during the Attitude Era, that career might have been like I think he might have had even some more, title reigns under his belt. But who knows? But I do wonder like why wouldn't he have just been that? But I think Mick Foley's a smart guy. He knew his place and
He just ran into the role. And he was one
yeah.
of those guys. He's not Jewish, but he had that Jewish mindset to
Oh
save
my
that
God.
money.
We are gonna get a letter from the ADL. It's gonna be apologize or else.
Why be offended when someone says, "Hey, you're good with money"? That is a compliment.
It is, but I do feel like they're like, man, people are already saying these stereotypes about us, so we gotta defend against everything. We gotta.
No, you do not. You don't know. That's like saying, "Hey, y'all white passing." I'm not. No, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Stop it. No, don't just lie to lie. Don't lie for lying's sake. What's wrong with you people?
But but yeah, Mick Foley, that character, I hated. I hated it so much. Well, no, like I like Rock and Sock Connection, but just like
Yeah.
his presentation and then like the way his character was played, it was like like he was always what's the word for it? Like he was always made to be dumb. He was
Yes.
it just but that was the things like I'm not like his
He was
contributions
very
or nothing. Like I'm
gullible.
not yeah very gullible. There's the word I was looking for. Very gullible. I just didn't like his presentation. I didn't have any beef like his work or anything like that. And like I said, Cactus Jack and Mankind was crazy. I'm not gonna say I never rooted for him. I rooted for seeing him get beat up, and his promos was nuts. So yeah, and I definitely would put him in the top.
Okay. Because I heard a lot of people was like, "Oh no, top 5 is like Rock, Austin, Hogan, Undertaker, Kane," and I'm like, "What?" Well, not Hogan, but Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, Kane, and and they would never put
I
Foley
would
in there.
actually have
and Austin. And I'm not saying, but I would think he'd be over Kane. I put Mick over Kane.
I was about to say I would put Mick Foley over Kane. Like so, and it's funny because you hear people talk like people really really love Kane, and I get it when he first debuted. Like he was just hot. He was on fire. But
It
I
gotta
think
be Kane.
yeah, man. But I think slowly after he started becoming like a minion for Vince as well, is when
Mm-hmm.
he kind of started getting cooled off. And then like they never knew how to I don't like they never knew where to put him at. And it was always this thing where you kind of depowered him. And then by the
Mm-hmm.
time you when you want to make him a threat, you make him a threat. But then like it was always hot and cold on Kane. I think he finally found a groove again and got the title again. But it was like what 2009, 2010, like
Yeah, no,
some
no
years
mask,
it came.
Kane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he went through a lot of transformations to get to that.
I feel like Glenn had a lot of humbling. I don't even know why they humbled Glenn so much, but they humbled the
Have no
shit out of
idea.
Glenn.
That's a monster character you should have always had kept in tuck and protect. I have no idea why they didn't, and they did. And I also noticed they like doing that with certain people, and it seems like it's a lot of big men. They like to I don't know humiliate them or something.
Paul White is living is
He
living
came first to
embodiment of
mind.
that.
Like, with Kane, it was the Tory Wilson thing. With X Pac, with Big Show, I think whatever, there was no need for it. Stephanie cut a promo, it's like, and he's like, and your wife's disappointed with you in bed. And it was like, what was that for? What was like, like
That was unnecessary.
they like to embarrass they big guys sometimes. But yeah, Kane is a character I would definitely would have had him higher if they would have just protected him better. And there's no reason you can tell from just how people are. People love Kane. That's just one of them characters I would have they use him way too many like as sometimes like when it came for like Vince and corporation, like he was just kind of like a goon. And it's just like you don't get a character that's this over and just make him a goon. But whatever. And then Triple H had to do the thing where he beat him and took his mask. I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
acknowledge the Katie Vick thing, that too, but I think the beating him and taking his mask off, and then after the big reveal, not much happened after that. Then he just walk around bald.
Even not even really bald, like half cut. He cut the front
Yeah,
off, and then he shaved the front, and then just like trimmed the back. And I'm like, what is going on?
nah,
Who's your barber? Please fire him right now, because you can grow hair at the front. Why are you doing this? Hey, that's why he has her now. Look, I have
yeah.
hair. You know, Yeah, he's trying to prove a point. I was not. I was bald by choice.
I think he when he did grow it out like that, I really felt like it was a point. Like, all right, I'm not really bald.
I'm bald by choice. It was by choice. It was by the character. The character Kane was bald. Glenn Jacobs has her. You know, he was doing. But when people say they put Kane up there, and I'm like, I can. When it comes to,
I think it's nostalgia from mainly like the debut and that first couple years. I think that's what comes into mind when people think.
I can't. I'll think about this, and I think about what the moment that they always point out is Mick Foley won the WWF Championship from The Rock. That turned the tide and made the WWF win. That's what they
McCain did
always
win it
point to.
too on Raw against Austin
But that
and gave it up,
wasn't. People
gave it right
wouldn't
back
turn.
up.
They're like, oh, Kane, Glenn Jacob, the Unabomb. He won. Okay. But Cactus Jack, he had a legendary, if you ever get the time, watch some Cactus Jack WCW. But him and Sting, him and Ron Simmons. When Ron Simmons backdropped that man off the stage and he hit the concrete, it was just like, oh God, he killed it. But Cactus Jack was a WCW guy, and then he was like an indie guy, and then he was an ECW guy, and then he finally became a WWF guy, and he was Mankind. But people liked Cactus Jack. People liked Mick Foley. People liked Mankind. People liked all of it. And then when he became the WWF champion, yeah, that turned the tide in the favor that they needed. That put Mick. That to me, that puts Mick over the Undertaker in the Attitude Era.
Oh, really?
To me, he's third.
Okay.
Austin Rock, Mankind, Triple H. Then you can put the Undertaker there after that, because you need the Undertaker flipped a lot in the Attitude Era. He started
I
as
got Taker. I got Taker fourth behind. I got Austin Rock. Triple H, Taker, then Mick.
And I say that just because my favorite Attitude Era guy during the period was The Rock, and then it was like Triple H was second. Now Triple H is like right there with The Rock now, but at the during the time it was like, okay, that's it, that's the guys. But looking back at it, Mick Foley always made sure, if you think, I'm gonna say, if you think about a match within the Attitude Era, everybody only goes to 2 matches, 3 matches at the most. It was Austin Rock the first time at WrestleMania, it's Mick Foley getting thrown off a cage,
Yeah.
King of the Ring Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker. The Undertaker's there, but no one thinks about, oh, he got, you think about the man he got thrown and landed twice. Once on the
True. In that
table and
sense,
once in the ring.
true. But I do think a Taker in Attitude Era, because Ministry Taker is probably my favorite version.
The sacrificing Stephanie and
Yeah,
Stone
like
Cold Steve
that
Austin.
that super like evil cult leader Taker
The higher power.
with the gothic like gear, like the higher power, all that. That was dark, and I thought that was like Taker in his like best form, as far as character, not like match quality, because I really can't think of many good matches from that time from him. But
You're gonna
character
say
wise,
Taker didn't have banger matches until he kind of combined. He didn't have banger matches until he became the dead man walking biker Taker,
yeah,
American
yeah.
Badass, coming out to Kid Rock, here in Louisville.
And
Which
Biker Taker is my second favorite version of Taker. I hear Bruce Pritchard talk. He just likes Andy's version, but also I feel like he only likes it because that was
he
the
was
version
Brother
he's
Love.
associated with. Yeah, yeah.
He
That's a
brought him
that's a
out.
bias. That's a bias.
But you can have a bias. That's fine. I mean, because Vince loves Dead Undertaker too.
Because that's the
That's his
one that,
favorite.
yeah, that was his character he came up
He
with.
came up with it, so he created it. So they can have their bias. That just means they don't like Mark as a person in real life,
Oh,
and we
I
don't
think
really
they
care for
love
that.
him. I
Oh,
think they
I'm not
love
joking.
Mark,
I
but
know they love Mark,
I
but
don't think they
they
like his changes and take on the character. But he couldn't have
they
been
don't like
that
him
'90s
adding
version.
himself into the character because he added
Well, probably
himself
not.
into the character. You know, right now there is no Undertaker. There's just Mark Calloway as the Undertaker. The Undertaker's gone.
But
Undertaker's
you can't
dead.
lie, man. When that Limp Biscuit went on and that motorcycle came down, people went crazy.
Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Well, you gotta. I know you wasn't in the building, but the first time he came out to American Badass,
Dude, I wasn't in the building, but I remember talking to people because
that were in the building.
back then you had to wait till Monday. There was dirt sheets,
Yeah,
but
Meltzer's been around forever, so let's
right,
not lie.
right, yeah, but I I wasn't on them yet until I didn't get on like wrestling sites that wasn't WWF, WCW 2000 or 2001.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to that immediately at the time. And when that happened, it was like it's like, man, the Undertaker came out and he was on a motorcycle. I was like, that don't even sound like the Undertaker. But come
Mm-hmm.
on Monday Night Raw, he popped up. I remember the first promo where he acknowledged it. He said something like, he's like, I might not be on the dark side no more, but I'll go medieval on your
On
ass.
your ass, yes, sir. He did say that. I remember that. But Undertaker, that was. I can say this. I know a lot of people say that the Iron Man match of Shawn Michaels, Triple H and Rock was a great match. It was long. I was there. It was long.
But
You
them
know,
guys, they not, no disrespect, they not like no like wrestling technicians. Like what,
it was a lot of brawling and Shawn Michaels prancing around in his booty shorts. That's what that match
yeah,
was.
like what else for an hour? And you don't do that with Rock and Triple H. You should let them have a street fight with
And it would
Shawn
have been better.
especially. Yeah.
And that would have been. I think that would have been more exciting. A lot of the people I was with my other cousin, and, and he was like, oh, this is kind of long. It's like, oh, this match
But
is
I think
boring.
Triple
I'm
H
going
in
to the.
his head, even though they always say Triple H always says his goal was always to be in WWE. But from the way I look at it, especially from Evolution and stuff, I do feel like he always wanted to be
In the
present himself as an NWA guy.
If you didn't believe that, look at all the stuff that he has taken. I was gonna say stolen, but taken from Dusty and the NWA. War Games. Why? and not even a good version of War Games. I just to let everyone know I hate
So could it
WWE's War
just have been
Games.
he just wasn't a big fan of the current state of WCW when he got there? Could it just be that?
Well, you do have to think when he was in WCW, John Paul Levesque and Our Terror Rising. That was during the beginning of the rumbling of Hulkamania running wild on WCW. He was never going to be a top guy
Right.
with Hogan being in WCW, and he was going to be jobbed out for the rest of the time. Even if they wanted him, he was going to be jobbed out. Look at Austin. Austin left because Hogan arrived in WCW and he lost to Randy Savage. Like
Yeah.
got beat by Randy Savage. And Austin was prominent before that. He was US champ, he was television champ. He was meant to be a guy. Like they were building him to be a guy. I mean, hell, they built him the same way they built Rick Rude. They had him aligned with Rick Rude and they had him aligned with Paulie Dangerously. They had him aligned with guys that were guys when we talk about them now, they're Hall of Fame guys. Not just
Yeah, yeah.
Austin himself. They were getting Austin ready to be that man, but Hulkamania came. You know what I'm saying? When Hogan came, that changed everybody's like, oh, we need to leave. If the WWF wants us to go, and let's leave, And so if they would have stayed, I don't think we would be talking about Paul Levesque in any other way other than, who is that guy? Horizon, I remember him. He's a good wrestler. He didn't do too much. But now he is the face of the WWE. Literally, that is the face of the WWE. Because he's in every promo, every commercial, every voiceover. It's just Triple H. I mean, I don't love it. I don't hate it. But it is what it
Kids are
is.
gonna see him as the "Are you ready" guy,
Are you ready?
and somehow the guy that the bosses report to.
There you go.
I don't know what he does, but Adam Pearce seems really concerned when he shows up.
I thought Vince was out. Isn't that Stephanie's job? Look, I just think they need to just bring back Steph. Granted, she does have the better podcast, better than Cody anyway.
You think so?
I think the guests that she has are better than Cody's.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And I say that
But
just
Cody's
because
has a couple big ones too, though.
Cody needs to stop having people outside of wrestling.
You think so?
I think so.
But Stephanie gets people outside of wrestling too.
Stephanie fine with that. I think Cody marks out to anybody that he has that's not a wrestler. Like if he works with you, he's just funny. He's just joking. He might tell 6 or 7 Cody lies during the podcast. But if he's there with like somebody he genuinely a fan of outside of the business, that's a mark. He's no Chris Van Vliet.
Okay, that's fair.
I feel like he's okay when he's talking to his coworkers. Chris Van Vliet's okay no matter who he talks to.
Yeah.
He does a little thing where he is a fan of you. He shows he's a fan of you. But then the rest of it is, all right, I'm going to ask these questions and allow you this open space to tell what you want to tell. One of his greatest interviews was an interview with Patrick Clark. And it's not anything that Patrick Clark did. It was the way that he handled Patrick Clark's insanity.
I didn't watch it. I've seen a couple clips, but it was like when I seen the response to the question I wanted, I was like, oh, I don't think I need to. I don't think I need.
You don't need to watch. You don't need to watch. I watched it just because I was like, I thought that he had some of the most potential in NXT Black and Gold.
Oh, he definitely did.
Just as much, if not more, than even Ricochet. Not in ring, no, because Ricochet can do anything. But when it came to putting it all together to make a character, to make a wrestler and an in-ring performer at the same time, I think Patrick Clark was destined to be a star and will probably be at least a 2-time WWE champion by this time.
Yeah, I possibly. He definitely had it. People seen the potential in him. So unfortunately it went how it went. But I don't know.
Cody Rhodes, Velveteen Dream, had a match for the WWE Championship.
Would be a match. I mean, yeah, it would be a good match.
I think so. I put it like this: when Cody needs to do something stupid and a ladder's involved, he will.
Oh, we seen that at the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble live. We saw it in AEW with Sammy Guevara with that cutter off the top of that ladder. That was on it, and that was his last match in AEW. He didn't even have to do that. We saw him set himself afire when he tried to suplex Andrade.
I mean, he's always trying to, make the people happy. That ladder match in Indianapolis, though, I think that's one of those. I don't know. That's one that needs to be talked about more because it didn't feel like a ladder match at all.
No, no, no. It was more of like a street fight with
It
ladders
was
just happened to be there.
yeah. I think that's one of those matches that previous generation fans would appreciate.
Definitely. And not only previous generation fans, I appreciated that match. Even though you left during the 2 out of 3 falls match, I appreciated that match too.
Left during the entrances. I had to go pee, man. Nope, none of them guys had cool theme music. It was fine. It was fine.
Raise your fist. Raise your fist.
I trust me, I was highly anticipating that match. I just needed a pee, and I was like, I do not care about nobody's theme song in this match. I will be okay. That's how I
You
got this. I went to go pee, and then I ran into the cricket station. I got this.
Oh yeah, that's when you took the photo with you going around and you had the belt on your shoulder.
The
I do remember the photo.
authentic WWE Championship.
You still have that. It's over there in the right
Yeah,
hand corner.
I do. What's at the bottom? You don't see it in here, but I do. But I have the so for the WWE Championship, I have
Hmm.
the commemorative edition. They have the
Yeah.
the replica.
Okay. Okay. You could take that for which one are you going to take when you meet Cody Rhodes?
Well, I'm
Winged Eagle.
wing Niggles going for sure.
You should take both and then see if he'll sign both.
He's probably gonna be like, well, he might. Yeah, he might.
I'm just saying, if you take both and say, hey, I saw you at the Royal Rumble and tell him the story, what do you want to talk about? That's what you want to talk about. And you tell him, I need for you to finish my story. Sign these 2 titles that I saw you defend and retain at the Royal Rumble last year.
That would be dope. That would be dope.
And then be like, can I be your bodyguard? I'm taller than you. You got to go into business for yourself. What are you talking about, brother?
Yeah, yeah.
You'll be a WWE superstar.
But yeah, I'm gonna definitely try to get him to sign that.
I
I'm
definitely think you should. Definitely think you should. Hopefully Wrestling Souls sells out. I feel like if they don't sell out, they're just not going to come to Louisville. They're not going to take it into the fact that people don't want to pay that much in a almost recession type of
so I
economy.
do hope it does not sell out, but I hope it's not just Louisville. I hope this message. This is what I
The
really hope.
trend,
Not
you want it to
about
become a trend
I just want the message to
so
be
they can
clear
lower the
that
tickets.
okay, lower these prices because I don't want it to be like it don't sell out and we just go all right, well not go to Louisville. I want it to be like okay, we really do need to listen to the people and lower these prices. That's what I want. So if that message can be get addressed, then I would greatly appreciate that. It seems like they determined to ignore that message. We seen a new article out that they're discussing what to do about WrestleMania and ticket prices is
Lower the
not.
tickets. Honestly, like I said before, going to the same place over and over again, mistake. WrestleMania, some people just go to WrestleMania for vacation. Damn, I didn't enjoy Vegas last vacation for WrestleMania. We're going to watch it on TV this year. And some people genuinely just don't like going to Vegas. Number one, like I know people that been to Vegas and they like, ain't for me, not family friendly.
You ain't going if you ain't got a ticket. It's no need to go because WWE's trying to 50-mile radius. Anything in that radius,
Yeah.
they're not going to show WrestleMania at the bars or anywhere. So that sucks.
You know what I would do if I was Tony Khan? Tony Khan, take my idea and give me some money. Have a show, run your show. Then after run your show an hour before WrestleMania begins. Have it end when WrestleMania starts. You can run the show 2 hours before, but have it end when WrestleMania starts and say, we're going to show WrestleMania on the screen.
I think on that note, we should call it a night.
I'm just saying, after the main event match, WrestleMania. But thank you, sir. It was good seeing you once again. Thanks everyone else that is watching. I am Elderly and Pissed Alexander.
I'm Peter Wesley.
And remember, you don't have to tap out. You can always make it to the ropes for a rope break.
See you.